And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Iran conflict is still going on. You have one rescued pilot from a shot down F-15E fighter jet. The other one still missing. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, birthright citizenship. Can we stop the illegal aliens, the travelers, those on visas, the tourists from coming over here and just popping out children left and right through surrogacies and all kind of extra stuff because they want to be U.S. citizens? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Artemis II Moon Launch is still underway. It is a 10-day mission, and apparently the toilet done broke. The toilet costs $23 million within them, $23 million, and apparently the toilet broke. Talking about it's a frozen valve. Well, how are they going to release that stuff in the bowl? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Pam Bondi has been fired as U.S. Attorney General. Is it a long time coming? Should it have not happened? We'll talk about all these things and much more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. James Fishbach. I want to speak on him right quick. I got to speak on James Fishbach because this is something that is like an internet phenomenon. Let's talk about what's happening a little bit first with the Florida GOP race for the governor, the gubernatorial race, as they say. Byron Donalds is going to get the nomination for the GOP, and I believe he will win. He will become the next governor. Nobody is anywhere close to him in the polls, and it's been like that for months now. And nobody is a serious candidate to actually be able to succeed in that race aside from Byron Donalds. That's the bottom line. James Fishbach is somebody who is being platformed by a lot of online people because he gets views from some of the Zoomer type of people, the Gen Z kind of people, because he's edgy and he says certain things that gets them riled up. But he has no chance of being able to succeed. And this is a guy who clearly knows how to speak to young people because he has a track record of doing so. And I'm not speaking about the allegations. We'll get to that in a minute. But he has a track record of being able to speak to young people because he had the company called Incubate Debate. This company, he founded back in 2019. And by the way, he's a young guy now. He's like early 30s, like 31, 32. Anyway, he founded this company back in 2019. And the purpose of it was to assist middle and high schoolers with their debate skills. Okay. So we have a track record of you communicating with young people effectively. Now, you have allegedly used this ability in a negative way. You got some shady business dealings. You got some weird stuff going on with that. But also, allegedly, you groomed a minor. Now, there was a confrontation caught on camera. And he's like, why didn't I get arrested? Well, maybe because y'all didn't consummate that until she turned 18. But you were grooming her when she was 16, allegedly. Now, I don't know if it's a crime to befriend somebody that's 16 when you're an adult. I'm not quite sure if it's a crime, but it might not be a crime. That does not make it be okay. Check it out. I don't know about y'all, but I don't just make friends with teenagers. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I mean, unless you my niece or my cousin or something like that, that's about it. And I'm the unk. Hey, Uncle Anthony, that's what I am. Okay. I'm not going to befriend, even if I was a young guy like James, in my late 20s, I'm not befriending somebody in high school or middle school. Okay? Is it illegal? I don't know. But clearly, it's not right. You shouldn't be doing it. James Fishbach, you moved in with this girl that you met when she was 16 and you were 27. When she turned 18, right when she turned 18, you told her to keep it quiet until she turned 18. Her parents had to intervene. The Florida school system that she used to be linked with, that you were, connected to, cut ties with you because of that. Bro, come on now. But you know what? Guys like this, I kind of see a mile away. Let's talk about this whole thing with the OnlyFans situation. First of all, there are a lot of guys who talk like that. Oh, we're going to tax the OnlyFans models. The OnlyFans, it's degeneracy. How could you? People that talk like that are the biggest consumers of OnlyFans style content. I could tell by his wallet text messages. You that kind of guy. Because what happens with these guys, with the OnlyFans girls, they have to pay to have that interaction. And a lot of times it's married guys or guys that have the means to be able to communicate with them. You see, I'm sure that James Fishbach loved to talk to Sophie Rain in person. Oh, man, that was crazy. The Piers Morgan. Hi, Sophie. Nice to meet you. I bet it is nice to meet her. Probably one of your favorite girls you got on your OnlyFans account, on your burner account, allegedly. Guys like that, that's kind of how they are. It's the same thing with guys who are super, super, super anti-LGBT. Now, you know me. I'm not the kind of guy that is in favor of the LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z. But I'm not one of these guys that every waking moment I see gay people. Oh, man, there's so many gays here. So many gays. Oh, you got that on the brain. You just trying to fight them demons. You trying to pray the gay away. And guess what? It ain't going to work. Hey, you trying to pray the gay away. It ain't going to work. Hey, in the morning, you still going to have the PP on the brain. I'm sorry. I'm doing too much. But you understand what I'm saying? People who talk extra like that when they're really, really vehement about a thing, over the top to where it's like extreme, it's because they're battling demons. And the whole thing, okay, let's speak on the syntax, shall we? So James Fishbach wants to have a 50% syntax imposed on OnlyFans models in the state of Florida. And this proposal has a lot of support from the online community, a lot of the young guys who know no better. Okay, let's think about it for a minute. This is no different. First of all, if you are a Republican, how is this a conservative value to have as far as the taxing? You can say that OnlyFans or whatnot is immoral. You can say that adult actresses are immoral. But when you start talking about taxing them, that's Zoran Mamdani. What is he saying? Okay, you make X amount of money, we're going to tax it. And if you try to leave, we're going to tax you on that. Okay, where do we live? North Korea? Are we under communism, socialism? What's happening here? Florida is not a communist place. Florida is not a socialist place. So make it make sense. Also, you're going to tax the easiest thing to move. It's all online. You don't have to be in Florida to produce your OnlyFans content. You could be anywhere in the world. Long as you got your phone, long as you got internet access, you good money. Now, James, and anybody else, anyone who supports James Fishbach and a 50% OnlyFans tax, let's just think for a moment, shall we? Okay, what do you have in Florida? Miami, South Beach. You have nude beaches in Miami. What are we talking about? There is a lot of degeneracy all over Florida. Strip clubs, nude beaches, the list goes on. The list goes on. So you got to tax all of that. Why just OnlyFans? It's because that's where you are. That's what you focused on. That's what you like. And you also want to appeal to the young guys who have some kind of grudge against these young OnlyFans girls. Girls they think that they should have, girls they feel entitled to, but they cannot have because there's a paywall in between them and the girl. And quite frankly, that girl, whether the paywall was there or not, would be out of your league anyway. But you understand what I'm saying? He's able to play on a young person's mind who doesn't really know a lot. rather than trying to play on somebody's mental weakness, rather than trying to play on their ignorance, you should be somebody who's going to be a leader and get everybody to the promised land to the best of your ability. Now, I'm not saying you got to just literally do that, but if you want to be a governor, if you want to be any kind of leadership position, do your job the best way. And doing your job the best way does not mean trying to tax OnlyFans girls, because that ain't nothing but a way to get some attention. It's not a really serious policy that you're going to be able to implement at all. And if you could implement it, again, it'd be just like Zohran Mamdani trying to propose these crazy taxes in New York City that are not going to work. All the rich people, all those who have any money that's worth taxing, will just leave the state. So why would you want to do that? If you are a governor, you want to keep the best people in your state. You don't want brain drain. You don't want money drain. You don't want any of that. You want the best people. You don't want a bunch of criminals and bottom feeders in your state. You cannot function that way. That's not how you have for a great society. Bottom feeders, people that want to fight, people that want to just do nothing. That's not how it's going to actually work out. California is starting to go that direction with all the bottom feeders and drug addicts and regular people who work for a living, good, honest, hardworking folks who get priced out because everything is so expensive. If you're not a multi-trillionaire, then forget about it. You're pretty much just at the bottom of society. You could be somebody that's skilled, somebody that's educated, somebody that works, and still finding yourself at the bottom of society, trying to figure things out. All the homeless encampments, all the RVs and whatnot on the side of the road have a lot of working people in a place like California. So you don't want the California virus to spread to Florida or anywhere else. So shout out to Byron Donalds, the only serious candidate, in my humble opinion, to become the next governor of Florida. A Democrat ain't going to work. A James Fishbach or anybody else is just not going to work. Put Byron Donalds in there. I like him. I think he has a great future. And if he does well in Florida, hey, he could be something. He could do something at a higher level. I will say to my man Byron Donalds, you got to go ahead and, get on that weight loss program a little bit. You get that big football bill. Okay, that's great. That's fine. But let me get about 40 pounds up off of that. You're about 265, 270 right now. I could kind of tell. You're about my height, maybe a little bit shorter, probably right around my same height. But I know what 275 look like because I've been that way. I done been that way. I know what it looks like, and I know how heavy it is in your body. So I need you to go down to about 220, 230, and you be rocking and rolling, just like JD Vance. Okay, JD Vance at one point was Fat JD. All the memes, that was pretty much the way he looked. Now he's slimming down. Now he's starting to look like, a nice specimen, as President Trump would say. And that will help you in your future in politics. That's going to help you a lot. Now, speaking about JD and California, I saw JD's wife speaking, Usha. I didn't like it because she was talking about division of labor. I'm like, division of labor? Is that what we're talking about in the marriage? Division of labor? I don't like that. That's that tit for tat. Okay, you do the dishes. Oh man, nah, we ain't doing that. If I'm gonna be vice president, hey, you got to handle all of that. I'm not doing nothing. Hey, if I'm the president, listen. Okay, watch this, JD or anybody else. If I become the president of the United States of America, if I'm the big dog, if I'm President Trump, I'm the big Willie, so to speak, in this situation, I'm not washing their dish, changing any diaper. I'm not doing any of that because I'm a little bit busy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I got the Ayatollah Khamenei or Akbadi or whatever on the phone. He's trying to negotiate. We got gas prices going through the roof. We got missing pilots. We got alien, and they want the alien disclosure to happen. We just bought aliens.gov. They're talking about, we got Anna Paulina Luna talking about they're not really extraterrestrial, they're interdimensional. We got all of that going on, and you want me to change a diaper? I would never. I would never. So shout out to JD's wife, Usha, but I didn't really like that. Now, another wife that spoke out, Gavin Newsom's wife. I don't know why he has her out there speaking because it's not doing them any good. It's not doing them any good. Gavin, you need to go out there and speak. do podcasts, do whatever you can, and have your message get put out there that way. Having your wife talk for you, I don't know. Maybe the idea is to reach your female audience. Okay, I get it. I kind of understand, but she's not doing you any favors, okay? She's not doing you any favors. I would get another spokesperson to come in there and talk for you, kind of like the way Trump has a Caroline Leavitt. You need a Caroline Leavitt on your team to go out there and talk for you. Okay, Melania speaks occasionally, but not too much. Not too much at all. Melania is not doing no podcast. She's not, out there just yap all day long. Hey, get at the Caroline Leavitt. She gonna take care of it. Okay, that's what you need. You don't need Gavin Newsom's wife, whatever her name is, or Usha Vance, whatever her name is. Get you a young lady who can speak very well and effectively on a campaign trail for you. That's what I would say. Again, we have the best White House press secretary in the world ever, in the universe, Caroline Leavitt. She does a fantastic job. Get one of them. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And I see a James Fishbach in the chat. Now, I hope that's not you, James, the GOP candidate in Florida who has no chance. You pulling that 4%. If that's you, bro, you're pulling that 4%. Like, what are we talking about exactly? I don't know how a guy who is pulling that 4% is able to get on all these podcasts. Well, you know what? I do know. It's because he can get views with some of the young people, kind of like a Destiny or a Nick Fuentes or somebody like that. One of these guys that can get a lot of views, okay, they're going to be on podcasts. It don't really matter whether they can succeed or not in the actual race. Yeah. But hey, James, I see you in the chat. I hope that's not you, bro, because listen, y'all know me. I'm calling the cops. If I see you talking to anybody who appears to be under the age of 18, Congress, DHS, President Trump, Usha Vance, he right here. Come get him. Like, let's get this dude right now. And speaking about, I know you're just playing. That's not you for real. But speaking about calling the authorities, Gucci Man. Okay, I'm gonna speak on this. I didn't do a full video. I did a little short video about it because it was on my mind. Because this is something that I wanted to say. And the young guys need to hear this if they think that the streets are a real thing. Let me tell you something about the streets. I come from the street. The streets are a myth, like Troy Ave said. Shout out to him. That song he had, if you ever heard it, Streets Are a Myth, 100% correct. I done seen so many of the biggest, toughest, roughest guys tell. I'm talking about go to court and say he did it. I done seen guys wear wires. I done seen guys do all of that. There's no honor amongst thieves. People think that this whole no snitching thing is a real thing people follow. They don't. Street guys are the first ones to tell on you, to set you up, to rob you. They don't care about honor. They don't care about morals. They don't care about values or principles. You're trying to hold regular normies in the street to some code that doesn't even exist in the street. If, let's say, Gucci Man, for example, and let me just give a little bit of context here so you understand what I'm talking about if you don't know. So Gucci Man, famous rapper, he gets robbed by another rapper, Pooh Shiesty, who is signed to Gucci Man's label. Pooh Shiesty wanted Gucci to get him out of his deal. Okay, so he goes, he sets his whole thing up in the studio. It was, he lured him there. Okay, let's go to Dallas in the studio and let's discuss my contract. Rather than saying, hey, I want to get released, can you sign this? Or negotiating or getting lawyers on the phone, he decides to bring a contract that they printed at the local Staples and they were on camera doing it. And at gunpoint makes him sign it. Now, there's so many things wrong with that. First of all, you're signed to my label. I'm the one who made you famous. I'm the one who gave you the opportunity to be whatever he wanted to be. But because you think the contract is not right and it's not really serving you, you want to make me sign a release form at gunpoint. You're trying to handle real business in the street. And what should I do? So let's just say it's ABL, right? Let's say it's ABL and I sign somebody to a record deal and they bring me to the studio and put me at gunpoint and tell me to release me. And then not only that, they take my watch, my phone, wedding ring, jewelry, all of that. My glasses, I'm blind. What should I do? Huh? What should I do as a result of that? Just take that? Just let you rob me? Should I just pull out my gun and start shooting and die in that instance? Is that what I should do? Should I come get you later in the street and then get caught after you tell and I go to jail? No. What I'm going to do, hey, here we go. Yeah, it was him. It was Pooh Shiesty. It was his dad. His dad was there. It was his cousin, this little 300-pound butterball, Big 30. It was them. Yes, I'm going to tell. No, I'm not a rat or nothing like that. Ain't no such thing. Everybody tells. The moral of the story is this. As I land. All the street guys, all the criminals, gangbangers, mobsters, they all tell. They all will snitch. They all will do something bad to you because they are in the streets. That's what they do. They're going to rob. They're going to cheat. They're going to steal. They're going to lie. Why expect that person to have any kind of morals or values? They're not. They're not. I'm telling you, I know street guys. I know real street guys. Real guys that go to jail. I know guys in jail right now that I grew up with. They are not going to do right by you. When you're in the street, there's no rules. There's no honor amongst thieves. Anyway, that was on my mind. Shout out to you guys, though. I know y'all know, but some people don't know. Oh, man, Guwap, he a rat, man. He told, man. He told. Everybody tells. And hold on, one more thing before I move forward. The whole no snitching campaign started when I was young, like in the early 2000s. The purpose of that campaign was if you are involved in crime and you tell on somebody to get a lighter sentence that you committed crime with, that's snitching to criminals. But again, that little honor system, that code never gets followed. Everybody tells. You see the first 48, they put you in the room. All right, Dark Quavion, check it out. We got you on camera. We got your fingerprints. Your mama done told on you. Your grandmama done told on you. Your best friend done told on you. Your girlfriend told on you. Everybody told on you. And you got the gun. We found the gun only with your fingerprints on it. You're going to go to jail for your whole life. Matter of fact, you might get the electric chair or the firing squad. We're going to kill you. Or watch this. You could tell on that dude right there who told on you, who got with your girlfriend, got her pregnant while you were locked up the first time. You could tell on him and go home today. What's he going to do? Tell. And then say, well, I was right to tell because he told on me and he had my girl. That's how it goes in the streets. Trust me. I know. I've seen it. With my own, this ain't me reading. Nah, I've experienced this. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Kids, do not go to the streets. I was in the streets in the benevolent way. I was the good guy in the streets. I never was into no crime. I was a guy that the criminals would always be on the phone with, talking about some legitimate stuff. Never nothing illegal. But in that position, I saw quite a bit. I saw so much. I done seen guys get shot and killed over girls. Stay away from the streets. Be a legitimate person. Be a square with L7. Be that in your life. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got quite a bit going on. We got the Artemis. Hey, do you guys think, before I move into the calls and not calls, before I move into my sponsors, do you guys think the Artemis II Moon buzz by, the moon visit, is that legitimate or illegitimate? What do y'all think? because I put up some of those pictures that they posted. ABL, how could you believe this? Unsubscribed. Do you guys think the Artemis II Moon Launch, Moon buzz by, is legitimate or illegitimate? Let me know. Personally, I think that, I don't know. I'm kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to tell. Really, I'm very skeptical. I think that they should do some kind of live stream. I know they can do it. I know it's far away and whatnot. I get it, but they could do something to show us what's really going on that vessel, like outside. They should do something to show us what's going on, because I'm skeptical. The first moon landing, it was janky. The footage looked janky. And then some say you got the firmament. Some say we got the flat earth. I don't believe in the whole flat earth thing. I think we are a spherical planet, but I'm not quite sure about going to the moon. That's still up in the air. I'm not saying that we haven't. I'm not saying that we can't. I'm not saying that we're not. I'm skeptical. That's kind of where I am, kind of in the center. So what do y'all think about that? You think that it's legitimate, illegitimate? You let me know. Y'all let me know. So fake. See, I know my people. I know how y'all think. Okay. ABL wants to believe. I'm just saying I'm skeptical. I'm not really going to pick a side on this. I'm going to be neutral. Yes, I am going to do that. I am going to be a fence rider, and that's fine. I'm going to be right on the center. I just don't know. I think that there are some true things that we can do, but I think some things we're not being told. Oh, and speaking about some true things and some things we're not being told, we're going to get into the UFO disclosure a little bit later here, or the potential UFO disclosure. And it's not necessarily UFOs. They didn't change it now because they know a little bit more than what they knew in the past. Because in the past, they would say something like UFO, unidentified flying object. Now they say UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, which is different because unidentified flying object would make it seem like a plane, a drone, something like that. Unidentified aerial phenomena, what is that? Is it a plane? How is it flying? Is it just flying through the air like an airplane would, or like a bird would? Or is it something you see in the air, but it's not flying? You see, it could be in the air, but it's not flying. The way they say they got the UFOs now, they can generate a warp of time and space around it to be able to travel. Is that called flying? I'm not really sure that's called flying. Then they said that you could teleport. There's a story of a FEMA director or something. I forget who. We're gonna see it in a minute. But they said that the guy had got teleported twice. One time he was driving and then teleported and wound up in the ditch. One time he was teleported to Waffle House. That's what he says. So I think as we get more knowledge, more information, they're going to update what they call these things. First it was UFO, now it's UAPs. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. We most certainly shall. But before we go to anything, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, shout out to the sponsors. You guys, of course, being the very first sponsor, but shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these Waffle House. Yes. If you like, I got distracted. Patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. That letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each long form video that I produce, I write an article, and in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, and the center, the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you have my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you ever think you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not. If you did not email me first, and I'll respond with my email, contact@anthonyblogan.com. And again, that email will be right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. But you already know who may contact you saying that they're me. It's going to be a guy over in India, no flip-flops, straight barefoot on the ground with 15,000 guys named Apu in one building. It's going to be that guy trying to get you. Or it'll be a guy, Eastern Europe, Ukraine, Boris, Vladimir, or some kind of variation of that name. Okay, Voldemort, Vladimir, something. It'll be that guy trying to scam you. Or it'll be a guy, West Africa, Lagos, Nigeria, in a hovel, 15 deep. Okay, it's hot. It's 100 degrees. Everybody's sweating on their phone from 15 years ago, trying to get your money up out of you, pretending to be ABL. And they might have an ABL clone over there, an ABL duplicate, an ABL replica. So they might put their guy on FaceTime and talk at you to get some money, but the voice is going to give it away. What they can't do right now is replicate my voice. If they got AI that sounds like ABL, I'll be totally flabbergasted. That's just that ain't nothing but the devil. But anyway, they're going to put him on their phone and try to convince you that he is me. But you know how you're going to sound. It's going to sound like this. It's not going to be a good copy either. That the bid will not be correct. The bid will be gray and the face will be old. I don't have that type of appearance to me. I don't have it. It's going to be the wrong guy. Do not fall for the for the wahala, I beg. But anyway, yeah, shout out to my Nigerian cousins, my Nigerian replicas over there. Hey, you know what? As much as I play about the Nigerian accent, they're like one of my top countries that watch. So if you are watching from Nigeria, thank you for being here. I cannot repay you enough for your dedication and loyalty. But anyway, let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to California. We're gonna go from Lagos, Nigeria to California. Gavin Newsom. We got high gas prices, right? I'm paying like $3.79 out here in East Tennessee. It's a little dicey. Hey, Trump, listen. If you can hear sound of my voice, I need this war wrapped up, okay? Because the gas is just too much. It's too much, okay? I mean, I might have put on the Pooh Shiesty ski mask and go take that. I'm just playing. But seriously, it's getting to be a little bit much. However, thank God I don't live in California, because what in the world are these gas prices? $6.47 for regular. I would never. I will just leave my vehicle right there at the actual gas station. I'm not going to pay that. Or I could pay it, but just on GP, on principle, I'm not going to pay that. It's too much. Okay, let's watch this right quick, shall we? Let's get some sound and let it rock and roll. Okay, is the sound not on? What's going on? Hold on. I got some troubleshooting right quick. Y'all give me a second. Yeah, I see what's going on. And I think we are here. There we go. Perfect. All right.
We are paying on average $2 a gallon more than the national average for drivers across the nation. And an expert on the oil and gas industry told me the math behind California's gas prices doesn't add up. In fact, prices vary widely across the state. Take a look at this station in Big Sur. Regular unleaded will now cost you nearly $9.50 per gallon.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. $9.99. Hold on. Wait, let me kind of go. Let me go back a little bit to understand what's going on. Let's start from the top, because did I miss something? We went from $6.30 to $10.
We are paying on average.
Back in my day, you could fill a whole tank with $10. Gas money back in my day was $10. $20, you had your entire tank completely filled, and you could go in the store with $20 for the whole tank, get a pack of Gatorade, a Slim Jim, and some gum with change left over. But now, 1 gallon, let's start from the top.
We are paying on average $2 a gallon more than the national average for drivers across the nation. And an expert on the oil and gas industry told me the math behind California's gas prices doesn't add up. In fact, prices vary widely across the state. Take a look at this station in Big Sur. Regular unleaded will now cost you nearly $9.50 per gallon, with drivers paying almost $10 for premium. Here in the Bay Area, prices aren't quite that high yet, but they are hovering around $6 a gallon.
Out of pocket, 100%. I definitely see it. I'm just like, oh my God.
It's a daily struggle for local drivers and sticker shock for visitors. This man says regular gas was $2.30 a gallon when he left home in Oklahoma City.
And I'd hate to add everything up to see what I spent on gas.
The war in Iran and its effect on the key shipping lane for so much oil is fueling the overall jump at the pump nationwide. But drivers say that doesn't explain why it's so much more here. We asked the experts.
About half of that is due to higher taxes and environmental fees and the higher cost of producing California's cleaner burning gasoline.
Dr. Severin Borenstein is faculty director of UC Berkeley's Haas Energy Institute, and he has a name for the extra buck you pay in California.
The difference is what I call the mystery gasoline surcharge.
Dr. Borenstein says before 2015, when a refinery closed in Torrance, California's gas prices were largely in line with the national average, with another 90 cents to a buck tacked on for our state's gas taxes and environmental costs. But with prices now $2 above the average, the math makes no sense even to the experts.
Since 2015, California's additional payments for gasoline above what's justified by taxes and environmental costs is amounts to over $60 billion.
Dr. Borenstein says limited refining capacity and the state's specially mixed cleaner burning fuel account for about a third of that extra dollar.
Most of the differential actually occurs downstream, somewhere in the distribution, marketing, and retailing of the gasoline.
Now the state has impaneled a new California Energy Commission division to investigate the so-called mystery surcharge.
Yeah, I think 100% investigate it. If we're paying more for no reason or we don't even understand why we're paying more, 100% investigate it.
California also lost a large oil refinery last year near LA, and the Valero refinery in Benicia is set to close this month. Dr. Borenstein says the loss of those two refineries and uncertainty around the state's ability to get other oil imports could lead to even higher gas prices here.
Man, the prices are crazy. Now, someone says, am I exaggerating about back in my day, $20? $20 will go a long way, because there was a time where I paid like, $1.15. I remember 99-cent gas. Like, I remember paying specifically when I was real young, like $1.15 for a gallon of gas. And a gallon, I mean, you could fill up. Because I don't feel when my tank is on E, I feel like at a quarter tank normally, maybe even a half tank, but definitely a quarter tank I feel. So if a tank is like 13 gallons and I fill it a quarter, let's just say I put 10 gallons in the tank to fill. Okay, so if I'm paying, let's just be generous and say $125. I mean, the $10, like the $20 is plenty, is plenty enough. I can have enough left from $20 after my tank gets filled to the top to go in the store and buy some snacks, for sure. Yeah. Some Gatorade, it could be like $1 for a Gatorade. Matter of fact, here's what I can get. You get you an Arizona green tea, because this is my routine. I go to the Getty Mart out there in Chesapeake, Virginia. It's gone now. They got something else there. I go to the Getty Mart. I fill up my tank. I get Arizona green tea for $1. Honey bun, like $1 as well. I might get a Slim Jim and a pack of gum. That's like maybe about $4 right there. And you fill your tank up, you still got change left, for sure. For sure, absolutely, 100%. That's not an exaggeration. Things have changed. When I first started driving, I'm 16 in 2001. So 25 years ago, things were different. And just a few months ago, things were different before this whole... Okay, can I get out of this? What's going on? I'm trying to minimize the screen. There we go. But things are most certainly different now than they were just a few months ago. And 25 years ago, things are most certainly different with the prices and everything. Absolutely. Now, of course, back then, people got paid less as well. Minimum wage, $5.15 when I first started working. I made at my first job $6.25. That's a lot of money. To get $800 a month for me at 20 years old, I thought I was rich. But now, if you make that kind of money, you poor. Anyway, let's keep on going. A little bit more about California cost of living. All right, let's watch.
It's no surprise that money in California doesn't go as far as it does in many other states. But a new report from Consumer Affairs reveals the stark contrast in take-home pay for someone earning a six-figure salary here compared to other areas. Workers earning $100,000 in San Francisco and Oakland would have a purchasing power of just over $62,000 after taxes, the worst on the list of U.S. cities. California's state income tax is high, but it's the city's regional price parity, which translates roughly to cost of living, that really brings down the salary. Goods and services are much more expensive in California, with housing and utilities making purchasing power plummet. Housing costs in San Francisco, for example, are double the national average, according to the report. On the other hand, Texas dominated the list of the highest adjusted post-tax salaries, with 4 Texas cities earning the most of a $100,000 paycheck.
So that's Laredo, Corpus Christi, El Paso, and Lubbock. And I love El Paso. Shout out to El Paso. You guys have a great thing going on. You guys are great out there in El Paso, Texas.
Texas lacks both state and local income taxes, allowing workers to avoid having a huge chunk of their pay deducted each pay period. For more insights on where your California city lands on the list, you can read my full report at sfgate.com.
All right, there we go. So shout out to the very expensive California, for sure. Very, very expensive out there in California. Yeah, minimum wage is a dumb thing, though. Minimum wage, it makes no sense. Like, you're just artificially increasing wages, and you're making demands on the business that might not be able to afford it. Maybe I appreciate the wage I get, and maybe the company appreciates what they do. They appreciate where they are, what kind of money they make, how much they're able to pay. If the business owner and I agree, then what's the problem? The only issue is when you bring in illegal aliens, people who shouldn't be here, and they make an agreement with the owner or the business owner. Okay, that's the problem. But if I'm here legally, they're here legally, and we agree on the pay, what's the problem? Now, here is Gavin Newsom's wife talking about here is Gavin Newsom's wife basically talking about programming her boys in a negative way in an attempt to deprogram them. Let's just watch this so you can see what she's talking about.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men. What I've done with both my daughters and my sons is if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she. And it just normalizes for my sons in particular. I don't even just do it for my girls. I do it for my sons because I want them to see that women can be the center of a story, that women matter, that women are interesting. At the end of the day, we're all kind of like in this place in history maybe where we're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human. And that's exciting to me. So, I'll just continue to kind of do my work and try and deconstruct all of these like limiting narratives about ultimately what it means to be human.
Okay, so I guess gender roles are a made up thing. And once we can get beyond gender roles, we can just be human. But check it out, though. Not all humans have the ability to give birth to a baby. I'm just saying that's not just a universally human thing. And with that comes a lot. Hold on. With the ability to birth a baby and having the cycle and everything, all the hormones, it comes a lot. There's a lot to being a woman and a lot to being a man beyond just gender roles that society puts on you. Okay, that gender roles come from a biological reality. You can't change that by giving your boys dolls and whatnot. That's not going to make no difference at all. They're still going to be, at the end of the day, a boy. And you got a girl. I don't care how many monster truck rally she goes to, or how much baseball she plays, basketball. At the end of the day, she is still a woman. Nothing you do can change that. Simple. So yeah, that's again Gavin Newsom's wife. I don't know why she's talking, but here she is again. Hold on. Here she is again talking more. All right. Now, maybe, like I was saying earlier, maybe she's speaking because she wants to reach the female audience. She wants to reach women. But to you guys out there who are women, are you sold? Are you buying what's happening here? Let's watch.
Trust me, I'm not a fan of Pam Bondi nor Kristi Noem. But I need to call out that it's no surprise to me that the first two prominent people pushed out of this administration were women. Let me explain. The conservative women that Trump handpicks, who align themselves with an agenda that controls women, restricting our rights, limiting our autonomy, and pushing us back into this straitjacket of femininity that is only in service of men. There's a familiar pattern here. Women are brought in, packaged Mar-a-Lago style, and lifted up as long as they commit to wholeheartedly serve the interests of the patriarch at the top. Now, it looks like power, or proximity to power with a big title, but it never comes with job security and protection. There's no secure place inside this hand-picked patriarchal body that systemically disrespects, devalues, and discriminates against women and girls. And this is where complicity comes in. Because when you align yourself with that value system with a leader who has publicly devalued women, degraded them, and been found liable of abusing women, well, guess what? You're going to be the first to go. So while you're in a perceived position of power in this system that regularly diminishes and devalues other women, even if you help sustain and uplift this system, your power is only temporary. And ultimately, they will come for you. That's the unfortunate truth for all women. No woman is safe in Trump's Republican Party unless she has enough wealth or the ability to buy her own job security and safety. And so, my friends, regardless of your political affiliation, you might want to wake up and see this for what it truly is. It's a war on all women.
Okay, man, that was so hard to get through. I was ready to push the stop, like really right around, I say about 23 seconds, like right here. I was like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm so sorry to bring y'all through that. But listen, watch this. That was a little bit of hate because Gavin Newsom's first wife is Kim Guilfoyle, who is in the quote unquote MAGA world. A little bit of hate there, but beyond that, it was nonsensical. It didn't make any sense. The more I listened, the less it made sense. If you want true equality, then you need to perform as well as everybody else who has a job. I bring in this person, that person, that person, and that person. You got 2 women and 2 men. Okay. Will you perform at your job? Will you perform well at your job? Are you going to do a good job? If the answer is yes, let's keep on rocking. If the answer is no, it's time to go. Trump will fire anybody and everybody. He had a whole thing. You're fired. That was the whole thing on the show. It didn't matter who you were. Male, female, black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. And really, Trump is a good guy and will give you a chance just because you're a good person. When others may not give you a chance. When others will just turn a blind eye. I like don't even know you. Trump gonna give you a chance. A lot of those who were in the cabinet or have been part of the cabinet did not get a chance anywhere else, but Trump gave him a chance. Now, if you perform well, congratulations, keep on going. If you don't, then peace out. It don't matter if you're male or female, black or white. So yeah, shout out to Gavin Newsom's wife for hating a little bit. Now, speaking about Gavin and his first wife, if you didn't know, here he is talking about her, which is pretty interesting. Okay, pretty interesting. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. Okay, so there is young Gavin and his first wife, Kim Guilfoyle. And is she married to Trump Jr.? Hold on, let me just zoom out right quick. Kim Guilfoyle And she's not married to Trump Jr., but she was with him from 2018 to 2024. Okay. And after Gavin, she was married to Eric Valenci from 06 to 09. I'm not sure who that is. But anyway, here he is talking about Kim for some reason. I don't know why he would do that, but let's hear from him.
I've got a marriage that starts to sort of fall apart because my wife at the time, Kimberly, was a young woman in a hurry and ultimately went to work for Fox News in New York. That was not compatible with being first lady of San Francisco. And yeah, you fell into the trap. I've got a marriage that starts to sort of fall apart because my wife at the time, Kimberly, was a young woman in a hurry and ultimately went to work for Fox News in New York. That was not compatible with being first lady of San Francisco. And yeah, you fell into the trap.
All right, there we go. So talking about Kim. So you writing the book? Are you gonna tell all about your previous marriage? Is that what we do? Is that the strong guy thing to do? I don't like stuff like that, bro. You were married, it's over with. You need to just move forward. Don't be gossiping like the women do. Don't do that, bro. Nah, that's not where we at. And I ain't gonna say that's a women thing at this point. I think a lot of guys are gossiping. Okay, probably more than the women are. I think men have become the new women in many ways. Shout out to CCJ for that one. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Okay, now here is Usha Vance talking about they got a new baby coming. Okay, and congrats to them. They got their fourth child coming. And they're talking about division of labor here with JD Vance. Is JD going to be changing diapers and whatnot as a vice president? Let's watch.
People wanted to know is, will the Vice President, J.D. Vance, be changing diapers?
Oh, absolutely. That's sort of always been our division of labor. When our first child was born, I think he did a majority of the diapers.
The majority?
I think that's probably fair. And then since then, he's done his fair share of diapers.
Okay, well, I polled a lot of moms across the country from people wanted to know is, will the...
All right, there we go. So my question is, how does that work when you're the vice president? How do you have time? And if you become the president, which could happen, shout out to JD Vance. Y'all know I love Marco, big Marco, no little Marco no more. If he's to become the president in 2028, which is right around the corner now, we're already in April, can you believe it, of 2026. So in a little over 2 years, we'll be talking about this, we're going into the primary. So he could be the president. If he's going to be out there campaigning and raising money, will he be able to change diapers at the same time? Or do anything like that? I'm not quite sure that he would be able to. But hey, that's what they got. If it works, it works. But if it gets in the way, then that's going to be a problem. Somebody say, who cares? It's on the news. They're talking about it. So somebody cares. Okay, now, let's go back to California. Gavin Newsom's, Lord Gavin's fiefdom of Los Angeles, California.
We got a guy walking off the freeway while we got fires over there. Welcome to Los Angeles, yo. And of course I'm gonna go check it out. Fucking homeless people lighting LA on fire. Nothing new. Yep, gotta get out of here though.
You know what? I was just thinking, I was on the interstate over here recently where I live, Tennessee, Georgia, this area. And I was just thinking, man, it's so beautiful. We got these trees and hills and, you know, we got the springtime coming in. The trees are getting the green back. It's so beautiful. And then I remember being in Los Angeles, the times I've been, and I saw stuff like this. Trash in the gutter, no green, concrete. It looks like it stinks. It's just, even on the interstate, not just like in the inner city area, but even on the interstate. No green, just dirt, rock, not even rock, just dirt, brown dirt, and it just looked like it needed to get washed. Okay, it need to get bath. That's the way it looked. I didn't like it. Now I'm sure once I leave the city area and go up in the hills, it's much better. But down in the city, ugh. No thanks. Now, hey, if you're homeless in Los Angeles, you need to take a shower and take a bath. It's all good. Go to a fire hydrant and do what you got to do. Now, nobody is naked in this video, so it's okay. But this is what you do in Los Angeles when you want to get some water for free.
This is downtown Los Angeles, California. Yes, where Hollywood is at. This is not a movie though. It's not a joke and it's not a publicity stunt. This is the reality that people are living in Los Angeles, California. This woman is using this key to be able to open up the fire hydrant to be able to wash her blankets. I don't know if you saw the person that's in the back. Definitely scared me at first, but they're just like tripping on something. I'm not sure. And this is March 2026. We're in Los Angeles, California. Fire hydrants have now been converted into laundromats for transients that are living out in the streets, in tents, and they brush their teeth, they wash their face, they take showers. This is downtown Los.
Now I'll tell you what, she missing no meals. This lady right here, homeless lady, she's not missed one meal in a long time. Okay, but she's homeless. Back in my day, we had anorexic homeless people because they couldn't afford food. But now we got nice, healthy, plump, looking like Miss Santa Claus out there on the street, homeless, opening the fire hydrant to get some water to wash clothes, allegedly. Or I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, that's LA right there. That's LA for you. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Now,
what do I do?
This woman went on, she's on the TikToks. She went on this whole big rant about the USA being an S-hole country and wanting to leave, wanting to go to Mexico. Well, she's back now. Let's watch how this whole thing played out.
What do I do when a lot of my family and friends are trying to convince me to not move to Mexico? Mainly my husband's family. Like, we can sit and list the long ass list of pros with like very little cons, but the cons are just thrown. And that's like the only thing they see. How we're gonna get a job, how we're gonna make money. And the thing is, my husband's family is Mexican. They've lived in Mexico, but the area that they lived in is nothing like the area we're moving to. Like, it's not even comparable. Like, how is it that Mexicans have fallen for American propaganda of Mexico? Because where we're moving is amazing. It's thriving. We're moving to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's like 30 minutes from Cancun. They're acting like where we're moving isn't safe or livable. We want our kids to be a majority, not a minority. I want to be a majority and not a minority. Real food, affordable healthcare, tropical beaches, jungle, not having to fear for our safety due to racism, diversity, Trump not being our president. It's affordable and we can live comfortably. Like, what about that isn't worth it? Like, I'm confused.
Okay, whoa. Okay, you got music. Let's not do that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Passports. Okay, cool. Now, give us an update. Give us an update.
To escape the United States, and we're having to move back already. Not even 2 months after. The reason being that our 4-year-old son got extremely sick the first week that we were here. He had a terrible fever, was throwing up blood, terrible diarrhea. His whole body was in terrible pain. He was screaming in pain and agony for days. Even after we took him to the doctor and they gave him different medication, he ended up having a bacterial infection in his stomach and his body. And since then, he has recovered, but he's still having really bad lingering problems. And we're starting to think that he has an autoimmune disorder. So with that, we're having to go to the States to get him the proper care. We've had to spend hundreds, thousands of dollars out of pocket that we were not planning on. So now, we're going back to the United States to get our son the care that he needs. And we're having to let go of this dream of living here in Mexico. Are we going to get a bunch of I told you so's? Probably. But there was no way that we could prevent our son getting this sick. We were not expecting these hospital bills, medication. I feel really fucking sad because we got rid of everything in the United States. We got rid of our home, our car, our jobs, and we left so much just to have to go home and restart with nothing. Pray for us. Send us good vibes, please, because we really do need it.
All right, so shout out to them. Hopefully your boy's okay. Hopefully your boy will get well and stay well in the USA. Now look, you took the USA for granted. You did. You took the USA for granted. all of what we have here, all the amenities, all the health benefits you have being here. When you go abroad to certain countries, they tell you, do not drink the water. And the reason is because you're not used to it. That's the main thing. It's not super safe beyond that, but you're not used to it. Your body's used to this nice purified bottled water. Okay, nice purified air, the great healthcare system. You think we got all this bad food, and we do have bad food. We do have some bad things here, but you don't see the good. You're focused on the bad or what you believe to be bad without acknowledging the good. So you go somewhere else and you realize, oh, okay, there's pros and cons. It's not just all sunshines and rainbows. You're going to Playa del Carmen, a tourist area. Oh, okay. Well, what happens when you get the cartel that want to start acting up, and they just want to shoot the spot up just for no reason? Or when you try to drink some water that you shouldn't be drinking, you got a drink. Let's say, for example, you go to a hotel, right? Or not a hotel, but like a restaurant near a hotel, and you get a drink that has ice cubes in it, and the ice cubes came from the tap water. You about to be in the hospital. So more of the story is, don't take the USA for granted. All right. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. Now, where are we going to go here? Now, I played some of this video. This was a good one, and there is a follow-up story to it. This is a great one. Okay, her name is Priya Patel, and she was talking about immigration without assimilation is invasion. Again, immigration without assimilation is an invasion.
This is your friendly reminder that immigration without assimilation is invasion. Got it? Yes, I understand that it is a very provocative statement coming from somebody named Priya Patel. However, of course, these people have no idea about my family history and my background.
Right, which is perfectly fair enough.
Let's pause. Now, Piers Morgan wants to make the point that how could she say something like that when her name is Priya Patel? Aren't you Indian? Aren't you an immigrant? Why do you hate immigrants? Let's start from the top, shall we? I don't want to interrupt.
This is your friendly reminder that immigration without assimilation is invasion. Got it? Yes, I understand that it is a very provocative statement coming from somebody named Priya Patel. However, of course, these people have no idea about my family history and my background.
Right, which is perfectly fair enough. So let's just clear that up, because you were born in the United States, is that right? Right, but where were your parents from? Are they from the United States or somewhere else?
My mother is from the United States. My father immigrated here as a young boy and from England, actually, not from India.
Okay, so he's English? He's English, your father? Or?
He was born in Uganda, immigrated to England when he was about 3 years old after the dictator Idi Amin chased out all of the Indians out of Uganda, and waited their turn to be able to come to the United States, and did so when he was in his teenage years.
So you say all the Indians. So is your father part Indian, or what's his background?
My father is full Indian.
He's full Indian. So your father's Indian, your mother is American, or is she? What is she?
I mean, I have ancestry on my mother's side of her family dating back to the 1700s in the United States, so.
But a lot of people will say, so your father was an Indian Indian immigrant from Uganda into the UK. You know, how does that sit with you saying what you said? This is your friendly reminder that immigration without assimilation is invasion.
Let's pause. Now, Piers Morgan, you're trying to make a point that's not really landing. Your point you're making is not landing. It's not about being an immigrant and that being a bad thing. It's about, if you're going to immigrate, you need to assimilate. What is so hard to understand about that, Piers Morgan? I'm going to let her finish.
I mean, did your father invade the UK?
No, of course not. But, you know, there is a personal duty on the part of immigrants to assimilate to the culture of the country that they are blessed enough to come to.
Would you classify India as a third world country?
There are certain parts of India that are, of course, very westernized and would probably be considered a first world country. However, I think there are a lot of parts of India that, yes, should be considered a third world country still. But to think that people can come from these for lack of better words, dated societies and just be placed in America and they just magically assimilate, especially when we bring them here en masse. I think that is a massive, massive issue.
People think you're a hypocrite.
You guys are both taking things completely out of context.
They say your father's an Indian, but here you are condemning all Muslims as somehow culturally inferior.
That's fine. I've been very critical about Indian immigration to this country too.
Hey, that was very well done. Shout out to the young lady, Priya Patel, telling the truth. Listen, if you're going to come, hold on, let me get a good freeze frame. I'm sorry, Ms. Patel. If you're going to come to the country from wherever you come from, you have to assimilate to that country. If I go to India, I got to put on the sandals or no sandals too. Okay. I'm going to eat their food. I'm going to learn their language. I'm going to be like them. The saying that is as old as time itself, when they Rome, do as the Romans. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that negative to say? And Piers Morgan, you have to be ashamed of yourself because you know what's happening to England right now. England is Afghanistan at this particular point in time because the migrants who come there are not assimilating. That's the point. So very well said. Very well done to the young lady. All right. Shout out to her. Again, her name is Priya Patel. Now, there was one I wanted to find. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Now, speaking about India and Indians and assimilation,
I mean,
this you're going to see right now, and shout out to Savannah Hernandez. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Savannah, you already know. But anyway, Savannah Hernandez, Frontlines, Turning Point USA. And I think that's, I know her name too. I'm not sure. But anyway, Savannah Hernandez out there in North Texas or India. I can't tell which one it is. Check it out.
I mean, we talk about the issue of assimilation, and I think it can be summed up by an email that I received from someone in Salina, which is a little ways outside of Frisco here in the state of Texas. And she said, I know a girl who is in FFA, Future Farmers of America. And
okay, yeah, Sarah Gonzalez. Shout out to her. Let's start from the top. Savannah Hernandez, Sarah Gonzalez. I think Sarah Gonzalez is like Hispanic. Savannah's Filipina.
I mean, we talk about the issue of assimilation, and I think it can be summed up by an email that I received from someone in Salina, which is a little ways outside of Frisco here in the state of Texas. And she said, I know a girl who is in FFA, Future Farmers of America, and she has a heifer, a cow, and an Indian couple contacted her and said, hey, can you bring your heifer over to my house? And she was like, kind of weird, but I guess sure. So she brought her cow to the house, at which point the Indian man said, can you bring the cow inside? And she was like, okay. So she brought the cow inside. And then I quote, this might be verbatim from the email. She said, the cow then peed and pooped inside the house and the family was so happy. They were blessed. And it just kind of sums up where we're at.
And do you think this was like a one-off thing or?
No. She actually also told me that the largest longhorn rancher in that area is constantly contacted for cow dung.
Interesting.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Yeah, that is not assimilation. Not really. If you like cow pies in your house, okay, but you know what? I don't want to do? I don't want to be a realtor in the Dallas area, Frisco, Texas, talking about, yeah, this house is beautiful. It's a five bedroom house, sprawling acres of land. And oh yeah, there were some cows in here and you might smell a little bit of something, but it's okay. You can tear the floor out, get a little bit of paint. It's all good. Nah, man. No. Okay, let's keep going. We got a Somali over there in Poland. The interviewer is asking him, "Do you want to work? Do you want to do anything?" No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I don't want work. I don't.
Did you came as a tourist? You working, studying here in Poland?
No, like international protection.
International protection.
Yes.
Okay, so are you willing to work later?
No, I'm willing later.
Later.
Not working
okay.
now.
What about Polish food? Did you try Polish food?
No, I don't. I did not try yet.
You didn't try any food?
No, but I will try.
Oh, definitely you should try.
Yeah.
Did you came?
Okay, so check it out. Look, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to become part of your culture. I'm not learning your language. I'm not eating your food. I'm not doing nothing. Why have him here? You're not studying. You're not working. You're not even part of the culture. Like, what's the purpose? Why? International protection. Okay, but why must we have you here? What is the benefit to us? I don't really understand. Okay, now, Ilhan Omar is being investigated. Ilhan Omar is being investigated because of all the monies that she has taken, allegedly, which is part of the game out there in Minnesota, aka Mogadishu.
Fox News alert, Ilhan Omar under investigation after racking up millions while she was in Congress. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has it. What's up, Kevin?
Good to see you, my friend. What's the old saying? Follow the money? Well, that's precisely what the House Oversight Committee is doing. They are probing squad member Ilhan Omar's skyrocketing family wealth, Jesse, especially in the wake of that $9 billion, some would argue $19 billion, Somali social services fraud scandal that exploded in her district in Minnesota. The Oversight Chair, James Comer, says his team's lawyers are exploring the extraordinary step of subpoenaing Omar's spouse over his curious business practices. Republicans want to know how the Somali-born Omar and her politically connected husband Tim Minette went from being nearly broke to being worth around $30 million in just a year, according to her 2024 disclosure forms. Quoting Comer now, there are a lot of questions as to how her husband accumulated so much wealth over the past 2 years. It's not possible. It's not. And he's a money guy. Minette and his partner, Will Haler, back in 2022, formed an investment firm, Jesse, named Rose Lake Capital. They had $42 in their bank account at the time, but in a year, up to $25 million, according to Omar's filing. By the way, he also has a wine business that went from next to nothing to millions on its books. Not surprisingly, associates were so perplexed about the irregularities, they brought information and attention to the feds to, look into it. Now, for her part, the Congresswoman has repeatedly, and I say defiantly, denied any wrongdoing while being also careful to criticize the ongoing probe. But, sometimes they say, Jesse, the ones who yell the loudest have the most to hide.
Well, innocent until proven guilty. I'm sure everything was perfectly legal.
For sure.
We're just checking to find out. Kevin, good to see you.
All right, so shout out to Kevin Cork, one of the best, and also Jesse Waters over there on Fox News talking about Ilhan Omar and her husband, the white man, Tim Minette. Not the brother that she got married to for immigration fraud purposes, not him, but the white guy, the consultant who gets 70% of her campaign money. That's what's happening. Here's the game, allegedly. The game is Ilhan Omar raises money for her campaign that she's going to win all the time anyway, so ain't no point in doing that, but she raises money for the campaign. 70% of the campaign money goes to him, Tim Minette, the consultant. And since they're married, that's a marital asset and it's okay. So we're going to just funnel that money from the campaign through the consultant to these businesses. That's how it goes. There you have it. That's called money laundering, right? Maybe I'm just not really the smartest guy in the world, but last I checked, that's called money laundering. So hopefully they're able to get this lady up out of there. $30 million, stealing. Hey, but it fits. That's the whole Somali game. Let's just go to a place and just steal, just loot the treasury. Somali pirates. Hey, and I like that Trump said the whole Somali pirate line during the State of the Union address, I believe that was. Chef's kiss. That was a classic line and it needed to be said. So yeah, shout out to them. Now, this right here is crazy. So you have an Indian software engineer fired, laid off, and replaced with Indians. He said, wait a minute, I'm Indian. You could use me. He's like, they were like, nah, you're not really who we're looking for. We want the real Indians, not you. Okay, your name might be, Van Cleef or something like this. That's fine. But we want the Vandahars over there in Hyderabad. We don't want you over in Seattle, Washington. But let's watch this, shall we?
I'm a software engineer. I work in tech, or at least I used to work in tech until recently, until my whole team got laid off. And you know the craziest part was in my exit interview, they go, hey, we're replacing you guys. We're getting rid of the whole team and we're replacing you guys with Indians. Yeah, I swear to God. I looked them dead in the eye and go, you guys know I'm Indian, right? Like, we can get the rest of these people out of here, but, like, you can keep me around. I'm already Indian. We can get rid of these crackers and replace them with my friends. I know hella Indians are like, no, you don't get it. You're not the kind of Indian we want. I'm like, okay, what do you mean, what kind of Indian do you want? You want me to do an accent? I'll do the accent. I don't know if this will make me a better engineer, but it seems to be what you want, so I'll do it. And they're like, no, you don't get it. We want Indians from India. I was like, okay, sure. Like, I was born in India, moved here when I was 2. My family moved here for the job, but I guess if you want to move the job back there, I'll move back with the job. It doesn't seem like a big deal. Like, no, you don't get it. We're getting rid of you. We're moving the job to India to be done by Indians from India who live there, who will do it cheaper. And in that moment, I turned into every one of your fathers. I was like, these goddamn Indians are taking our jobs.
Well, are they not? Are they not? I mean, look, that's the whole thing with all of this, with offshoring and AI. It's about money. It all boils down to money. And the more there is a demand to get higher pay for minimum wage jobs, okay, you want to be on the phone all day talking for $100 an hour. Why would I do that? I could pay Rosie over in Quezon City, Philippines, $4 an hour, and that'd be life-changing money. That's the reality of a connected world. It's unfortunate that happens, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And again, as he was saying, it's not even about race because he's Indian. No, we want them over there because they would do the job that you get paid in Seattle or wherever you at, Columbus, Ohio, Seattle, Washington, D.C., Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas. They'll do your job for a fraction of the price. And it's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. But you know what? You know what can't be offshored to India? You know what AI can't do right now? Pipe fitting, welding, plumbing, roofing, framing the house. Blue collar, Mike Rose said there's a need for 500,000 electricians right now. Right now. 500,000. So if you're a young person thinking about, hey, what am I going to do? Am I going to be into a job that can get replaced by Indians overseas? Rather than going that direction, pick up a hammer, pick up a shovel, and get it cracking that way. That's what I would say. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here. All right. Now, do I want to show this? I got to show this. I'm sorry. Shout out to everybody that's Christian. Good Friday happened yesterday, so shout out to you guys for that. If you're a J, shout out to Passover on Wednesday, and Easter Sunday is tomorrow. So happy Easter to everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Easter Sunday. Get you some good eggs. Did you guys ever do the Easter egg hunt and paint the eggs? Fun times. Very fun times. So enjoy those festivities if you're doing them tomorrow on Easter Sunday. However, Minneapolis, which sucks, aka Mogadishu. Matter of fact, you have Mogadishu and Minneapolis. Mogadishu is the Somalis. Minneapolis is the white liberals. Okay. In Minneapolis, they held a crucifixion pilgrimage to George Floyd Square to honor Renee Nicole Good and Alex Pretty. I'm not making this up. The two morons who got themselves deleted because they wanted to fight federal agents. Listen, I said it from the beginning, and some of y'all didn't like it. I said what I said from the beginning, and I stand on that. I'm down on that hill. Rachel Nicole Good and Alex Pretty got what they had coming to them, period. Don't fight federal agents. Like, don't do that. I would never fight cops. For what? If I feel like something is happening that I don't like, I'm going to go to court. Y'all know me. Yeah, he did it. I'm going to tell. I'm going to snitch. I'm going to record. And I'm going to be a free man. I'm not going to lose my life or my freedom for illegal aliens or anybody else. I don't care. But let's watch, shall we?
Minneapolis feel there's a connection between how Jesus was crucified and the trauma that community members experienced in recent years. Our Jeff Wagner shows us their journey of remembrance and prayer.
A somber tone mirrored the gloomy skies above this dedicated crowd, about to embark on a pilgrimage where each stop carries a certain pain all too familiar for Christians on Good Friday.
Jesus was unjustly taken. He was unjustly crucified, murdered as a public spectacle. And here we are at each of these sites is where the same thing has happened, where people are continuing to be unjustly crucified.
It began next to Say Their Name Cemetery, honoring people killed at the hands of law enforcement, a common theme throughout the 3-hour journey. Next, they walked to 38th in Chicago, where police killed George Floyd.
In this space, I witnessed community mourn together.
A witness tells the story of what happened at each site,
demanding justice ever since.
Followed by religious leaders drawing its connection to the Bible.
The next several stops on this pilgrimage are connected to Operation Metro Surge, when ICE agents descended on Minnesota. Immigrants lived in fear as thousands were arrested. Agents killed 2 U.S. citizens. One of them is Renee Good. That's the next stop, is her memorial site.
Since cameras weren't allowed at that location, we caught up with the crowd at Carmel Mall, where Somali businesses struggled amidst ICE's presence. Down the street,
these agents seemed particularly unstable.
An acknowledgement of an ICE operation in December, leading to a chaotic scene WCCO captured up close. The last stop was on Nicollet, where federal agents killed Alex Preddy.
Regardless of your faith, there is some sort of value, there's some sort of a moral base that we have that compels us to stand up and to resist what has happened.
That's enough. That is enough. You know what? There's so much confusion here. And one thing that is missing is male leadership. Where are all the men? There's no men here. You got female pastors. Okay. You got women MCs. It's all women. You got some guys in the back who have no power, no say-so at all, being drugged there by their wives. Okay, hold on. Matter of fact, I think I saw a lady with a collar. And look, again, women, LGBT. Okay, he got rainbow shoes on. You already know what time it is. And then, look, okay, more women leading the pack. The one dude in the back. But I wanted to show the, look, see, this right here is confusion. There's no leadership. Nobody knows anything. They're just kind of out there doing stuff. This is why Minneapolis sucks. Tampon Tim might as well be a lady with a collar on. Bad leadership. That's the problem with a place like Minnesota. And I'm sure you got a lot of good people out there, a lot of good normies out there minding their business, but you got too many of these NPCs, brain dead people that don't know anything running the show. That's the problem. Okay, now, a little bit of good news. We got Cuba releasing prisoners from jails after its government announced an amnesty. Okay. Now, I think these prisoners are going to be political prisoners, not the boat lift people, but political prisoners being released from Cuba. I think there could be a deal with Cuba that will happen soon. I hope for them. Oh, by the way, some oil from Russia is being allowed to go into Cuba to help them relieve the crisis they got going on right now. At the same time, this is happening. Check it out.
Ex-prisoners walk free hours after the communist-led Cuban government announced a sweeping amnesty on Friday. It has coincided with the most intense pressure campaign applied by Washington in decades. The US said it was closely monitoring whether those it deems to be political prisoners would be among those freed. That has long been a major sticking point in negotiations between Washington and Havana. Reuters spoke with several who'd been pardoned of common crimes ranging from theft to bribery, but none had been involved in anti-government protests. I'm thankful for this gesture, says Harold Baez. It gives me the chance to rebuild my life and rejoin society. More than 2,000 prisoners are set to be released as part of what Cuba's state-run media has called a sovereign and humanitarian gesture, the largest such amnesty in 10 years. The release of all or the majority of political prisoners would be seen as a major concession on Cuba's part in the ongoing talks between the two countries.
They got to do something because their country is suffering and people are suffering. You're going to have civil unrest in the streets. So, okay, political prisoners, let's release them. Let's get to some freedom in the country.
Human rights groups, some financed by the US government, say Cuba is holding hundreds of political prisoners, with estimates varying. and promised scrutiny of the prisoner release process. Cuba has repeatedly denied it holds political prisoners. Authorities say those jailed during anti-government protests are found guilty of crimes, including public disorder, resisting arrest, robbery, and vandalism.
That ain't the problem, though. That's not necessarily the issue with the protesters. That's different than a political prisoner. A political prisoner is somebody that's in jail because you don't like what they say. You don't like what they do. They're against the regime. That's much different than just being out there being a vandal or being a common criminal. Much different. All right, so shout out to them. And again, hopefully Cuba gets some freedom more than what they have right now, because that's not really a thing that's present. Okay. So this woman, and it might be a little bit of language, so please cover the little kids' ears. She's Cuban American, and she's calling out those who voted for President Trump.
My father came from Cuba, okay? From the communist.
Hey, Trump's about to free Cuba.
He was supposed to. No, he's not.
Will you give him credit? Will you give him credit?
No, he's not.
I've been going to a lot of Cuba Libre rallies.
I would love to know how is it now that he can dialogue with Cuba, and it's okay. But when Obama went to dialogue with Cuba, not negotiate, dialogue, it was a frenzy for all. But now that Trump decided to do it because he wants his golf courts and he wants his hotels, which the Castros never wanted him on the island, and that's why they took him away, and that's why he's going so far.
What do you say to all the Cubans that are cheering for Trump?
They're fucking idiots.
You had one of the biggest rallies in Miami.
They're against
Hialeah.
Yeah, Hialeah. They're idiots. That's why so many Cubans are being deported now, because of them. And a lot of those Cubans are like, what the fuck do we do?
So you think the Cubans calling for freedom are idiots?
The Cubans that voted for Trump are idiots because they're deporting Cubans that had status in this country.
Isn't that the majority of Cubans that vote for Trump?
Nope, I'm not going to say the majority. Some of them up because they're stupid and they didn't realize what they were doing. But a lot of them got deported, just like the Venezuelans. Absolutely.
Now, the problem is, if you're a Cuban American and you voted for President Trump, you're not getting deported, right? Because you're a citizen. Now, if you are a citizen and you got deported, well, you done did something and you deserve to get deported. If you're here illegally, it doesn't really matter where you're from. You could be from Cuba, Afghanistan, Bootheadistan. It doesn't really matter where you're from. You can get up out of here. So what? I'm Cuban and a Cuban got deported. I'm a citizen. I'm here legally. You not. That's on you. I don't got nothing to do with that. The same thing as if somebody from my neighborhood commits a crime. Okay, that's not my fault. That's your fault. You did that, not me. So yeah, shout out to all the Cubans out there who voted for President Trump. And shout out to the Cubans in Cuba and all over the world who support what Trump is doing. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, where are we gonna go here? Do I want to show this one? Okay, this is good. So this woman says she has never met a smart Trump supporter. It's just not really a thing that happens. Okay, let's check this out.
So if being more educated means that you would probably leave college and have like left-leaning views, then what does not going to college and being uneducated mean? Oh my God. Like, you can never convince me that not being educated, whether that's organically or through an educational institution, is a good thing. I have never once met a Trump supporter and was like, wow, this guy's really smart. Like, come on. So if being more...
Okay, now there's a lot. First of all, education is a good thing. It's a very good thing, especially when it matters. For example, if you go to college and get a degree in engineering, that's fantastic. That's a great way to become educated. If you get a degree and you go on to medical school or something like that, okay, fantastic. Lawyer, if you get educated in the way that actually makes sense and the way that can be applied, fantastic. If you go to college and you get a degree in underwater basket weaving or some other kind of random nonsense, then if you get a degree in a useless field, then wasted money, wasted time. If you did that, I don't consider you to be educated. You just got indoctrinated. You just got kind of robbed or finessed, as the cool kids say. Now, you're conflating not being educated with being a Trump supporter as if it's the same thing, and it's not. Some of the smartest guys and girls I know are conservatives, and you would never even know. You wouldn't, because they ain't gonna tell you. They're not going to tell you. You see somebody with a truck that has a MAGA flag on the back and the American flag, you assume they're uneducated, you assume they're poor, and you assume they are a Trump supporter who is a Trump supporter because they're uneducated and poor and everything else. You have no idea. That guy could own a ranch. You just don't know. You come off as judgmental and you're hating. Just talk to more people. Talk to more of us Trump supporters, and you'll see how educated we actually are. A lot of us are very well educated. We know what's going on in the world. We do very well for ourselves. Just talk to us. Have the dialogue. You may not like Trump, and that's fine, but just judging us is ignorant on your part. But shout out to you guys who are educated. Okay, one way or the other. Not necessarily going to college where you get brainwashed, but educated in the real way. Educated in the practical way. Shout out to y'all. That's right, Buster 5. A degree with no job, wasted time. Big waste of time. All right, now, speaking about invasions and lack of education and whatnot, this is a thing that's happening more and more. Women in restrooms having to deal with men in there. Now, I've said it over and over again. The whole trans thing is a way for men to take advantage of women, to be in a vulnerable space with a woman. And I'm totally against it. Women should have their space where it's just them. And men, same thing. We're talking about private spaces like that. Now, if we're out in public, on the outside, on the street, that's something different. But in a private space, bathroom, locker room, no men should be where women are. I don't care what you call yourself, what you identify, you shouldn't be there. Okay, now here, you got a young lady confronting a man, which is kind of uncommon, because what are you going to do as a woman when you got some big 6'5" dude roid raging? It's ma'am. What are you going to do when he gets upset at you, calling them out for being in the bathroom? But let's watch this.
I don't want to be rude, but like, you're a guy, right?
I'm a transgender woman.
Yeah, but like women are in here because you know how many times we're out there and men are staring at us, and now we're in a bathroom, and now we have to be in a bathroom with men.
Yeah, I'm not a man. I really appreciate if you keep that opinion to yourself.
Okay, well, it's not an opinion. It's just like factual.
You're the first human being who's ever done this.
Because I'm the only one that has balls to do it.
You must be very proud.
I mean, you must be proud having to be in a woman's bathroom. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. But whatever, you do you. I don't want to be.
Shout out to her for being brave, because I know that can be scary, because it's a man still. I heard his voice. I'm hearing the testosterone. I know how my voice sounds. I know how I am, like how strong I am. And I can hear it in people's voices. I can hear her voice. She's a woman. And I can hear his. He's a man. And he's not even like a soft or a small guy. He probably like my size. So that could be very scary as a woman to speak up against a guy like that. A lot of men sometimes are afraid of me. I'm the nicest guy in the world. I'm not no tough guy. I'm a nice guy. But because of how I sound and how I look, how big I am, they're afraid. So I know she was not necessarily feeling very safe. But I'm glad she spoke up and said something, because it needed to be said. And you heard what he said. Well, nobody ever said anything before. You're the very first one that said anything. Okay. No one says anything to you, sir, because they're afraid. That's why. So maybe listen to a woman, listen to what she's saying, and take some advice. Go to the men's restroom. I don't care how you dress in the men's restroom, bro. You could look straight like Dolly Parton in there. It's fine. I'm not gonna say nothing to you. If you want to say something to me or do something to me, we can get active. But beyond that, go to the urinal, handle your business, wash your hands, sir, because you know y'all nasty. Wash your hands and then get up out of there. It's simple. But yeah, again, shout out to the young lady for being brave enough to say something, because most women are not going to say anything because they don't want to get beat up by that man. They don't want to have it happen. Okay, now let's keep rocking and rolling here. So Marco Rubio canceled the green cards of Hamideh Soleimani Afshar, the niece of the late Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, and her daughter. And now they're both in ICE custody. And is there a picture of them? I believe I have a picture. Okie dokie. So, all right, there we go. And before I show it, down, boys, down. Relax yourself, okay? So that's her right there. Notorious General Soleimani's sultry grandniece led lavish lifestyle touring U.S. hotspots as her mom promoted Iranian regime. Okay, so that's that. Now let's get to Marco Rubio's news.
Bit of breaking news to bring you now. The Secretary of War in the US, Marco Rubio, he's posted online about cancelling the green cards of the niece of deceased Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani. Hamida Soleimani Afshar and her daughter. He says up until recently, Hamida Soleimani Afshar and her daughter were green card holders, he said, living lavishly in the United States. Afshar is the niece of deceased Iranian Major General. She's also an outspoken supporter, he says, of the Iranian regime who celebrated attacks on Americans and referred to our country as the Great Satan. He updates people by saying, this week I terminated.
All right. Okay. So you're just reading the actual thing there, but you can see what's going on. So you can see that she's up out of here in ICE custody. Yeah, get her up out of here. Why should the Iranian regime be over here living lavish? Nah, or their kids and everything living lavish off of what the Iranian regime has done to their own people. Okay, living lavishly off of blood money, basically. Nah, get up out of here. It's time to go. Time to go. Nah. And I think that she was able to gain entry or gain a stay under the Biden administration, if I'm not mistaken. So again, shout out to Marco. Go Marco. Now, speaking about the administrations, ABC News had a 75-person team in 2016 whose job was to get Trump out. 75 people. Hey, how does it feel to be a failure with that big of a force against one guy? You threw everything at this man. The whole kitchen sink, the whole enchilada, and it didn't work. Hey, y'all tried to defame him, didn't work. Stormy Daniels, all these people, didn't work. Y'all tried to shoot him. Y'all did get him in his head and he didn't die. So at a certain point, you got to just give up. You would think they would give up, but they have not. But again, this is from 2016. Well, this is not from 2016. This is a story about 2016 that's current. And this is going to be Sean Hannity and Sage Steele. I'm not sure who the other guy is, but I know that Sage Steele and Sean Hannity, but somebody else. Check it out.
Their determination to find something. Yeah. Imagine going around asking that question: who has something? Who has, like, there's evil in that.
ABC
even
News
if it's somebody that we don't like.
They had a division dedicated with 75 people in it, because I know the guy who ran the division.
Is that Billy Bush? Who is that right there?
Jeez. Which was dedicated to basically getting him. Wow. And all the big network news that I understand all of that, like what you can do, they have a voice and different networks have different voices.
Yeah, Billy Bush. So Sage Steele, Billy Bush, and Sean Hannity. Billy Bush says, hey, there was a 75-person team dedicated to trying to get Trump out, trying to find dirt, trying to do this, trying to do that, and it didn't work. Imagine being part of that team and they fail. Imagine being part of the team and they fail. 75 guys, all for one guy. You got businesses that don't have that many employees and can turn a profit, but you got that many guys on the team and they fail. That's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to Billy Bush. Billy Bush was on that. Remember that infamous tape? Grab my body, you know what? Remember that he was on that tape. And by the way, can I just say something right now since I'm right here? What Trump said on that tape about grabbing the body, you know what, was not bad, because he said they let you, they allow you, they give you permission, they give you consent. That was the key. So if a man and a woman consent, I have no problem. I have no problem. You got two adults consenting, it's okay. Now, when you don't have consent, or when you got a minor involved, now we got a criminal problem, but 2 adults that consent, it's okay. Why was that made to be a bad thing? Anyway, let's look at some of the job expectations that really went beyond expectations. The job, pardon me, the job, let's look at the job numbers that went beyond expectations.
I mean, the expectation was what, 60,000 jobs, and it's 178? Wow.
Yeah. Look, the job market bounced back in a big way in March, and that is good news, really blowing away expectations.
I mean, the expectation.
So they were expecting like 60,000 jobs. They expected 60, and it got 178. Okay, so that's good news for the economy. That's very good news. And also, this is good news for American citizens because we got a lot of the illegal aliens up out of here. So the jobs are going to American citizens for the most part. All right. For the most part, I can't say 100%, but definitely much more than they were during this time last year. Well, during this time in 2024 under President Biden, for sure. And that was CNN. Yes, that was CNN. Now, have you been traveling lately? Have you been to the airport lately? I got to get out and travel. I got to go to a few places once everybody gets back and we can get things back cracking again. I got to go on the left coast a little bit. Well, I got to go past Mississippi River. I got to go to Texas, all of that. I got to do a few things. But have you been traveling since ICE has been in airports and since TSA got paid? Smooth, easy, breezy, beautiful. Let's watch.
So no issues getting through security at LaGuardia, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. You see way more green than you do blue TSA. And the agents are helping check IDs, they're helping move people through the line, and so there was like a 3-minute wait today, but it's been really chaotic. So I thought it was interesting talking to them. They were like, we're happy to help, like it is what it is, never thought we'd do this for work. I know some people are going up and verbally assaulting some of the ICE agents, but the people I talked to said that they were happy for the help because they want to get going. Airports are looking better. You see ICE agents out there helping out. Thanks for everything they're doing because they are federal agents, whether you like them or not.
So yeah, ICE, they're doing a very good job in the airport, and people say they're so friendly, like Chick-fil-A level friendly, so nice, so friendly, and not just it's not just about them being friendly. That's one part. That's a good part. But they're also effective in what they're doing. Remember when the idea was floated from President Trump to have ICE in the airport? What did they say on the left? Oh, they can't do that. They're not trained at that. They're so untrained. It don't take that much. We're not talking about rocket science here, okay? It ain't that. You checking. You putting the bag on the conveyor belt. You standing at the entrance. It's not that deep, okay? That's like saying, okay, a McDonald's shut down, and then I come from the street and hop into the McDonald's. Okay, I'm putting fries in the bag. How hard is it? It ain't that deep. It's not like a really big, complicated thing to do. So shout out to ICE. And also, ICE are trained anyway on these kind of things. They're trained in security and whatnot. And a lot of ICE are former law enforcement, maybe even former TSA. You probably got quite a few former TSA who are ICE agents. They're trying to just get that bump in pay. Because if you work for ICE, you're getting paid, like 6 figures? So it's okay. If you're going to pay me $125,000 or whatever I'm getting paid to put a bag on the conveyor belt, then let's get money. Let's get money. I'm not saying that to get paid that. I'm just saying it's probably an upgrade from the TSA pay. If I was a TSA agent right now, what I would do is try to work for a private security company. Hopefully we get a contract with the airport, and or I would go to ICE. Because why not? I already know how to do that. Then they give me some more training and do a little bit more. I would do that. Okay, hold on. What happened? Did something happen? I'm reading some of this. Okay. Oh, the ads? Yeah, Garfish, I have no control over the ads. I'm so sorry. I suggest you get YouTube Premium, YouTube Red. And I know it could be a little expensive, but I promise you it's worth it. I have YouTube Red, YouTube Premium. It's definitely worth every penny. It's worth every single penny. When I'm showing you guys videos, sometimes it might be on YouTube. The worst thing that happened is the ad on it. I also have Twitter Premium. I have I have Twitter or X Premium and YouTube Premium. So you guys don't see any ads on videos that I show you. There could be an ad on the video that plays on YouTube that you're watching, but when I show you videos, you never see one ad. So I apologize for that, but you got to talk to youtube.com. Okay.
Let's start.
Now, birthright citizenship. Let's talk about it for a minute. Now, birthright citizenship was something that came about after the 14th Amendment. Prior to 1868, 14th Amendment, in 1857, there was a Dred Scott decision. This decision said that if you are a Black American, whether enslaved or free, you could never, ever, ever, ever be a U.S. citizen. Again, that was Dred Scott in 1857 during slavery. Slavery ends 1865. 1868, you have 14th Amendment. This amendment guaranteed U.S. citizenship for Black Americans and their descendants. This was for us. There's also other language in there for former CSA. And also, if you are born in the country, you're guaranteed citizenship. That's what came from the 14th Amendment. The spirit of the law was to give us, the Black American descendants of slavery, citizenship. Again, I am a Black American descendant of slavery. Been here since 1600s in Virginia. I got records, documentation, paperwork, the whole 9 yards, DNA, whatever you want, I got it. The 14th Amendment was for people like me. It was not for a Chinese billionaire to pay a bunch of women to have children in America, to have basically kind of like anchor babies, an anchor baby army. It was not for that. It was not for a sleeper cell army to be created in the country, which is what has happened. Okay, let's watch this so you understand a little bit more about how this has been abused over the years.
Let's start here with some examples of some of the types of individuals we could be talking about, like Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez. Now, Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez was born in Santa Ana, California in 1984. His parents were from Mexico. He happens to also be the stepson of El Mencho, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. And now he is reportedly leading that very same cartel. And here's the thing. He is a United States citizen by birth. And it doesn't stop there. Reports of foreign wealth being used to manipulate the system. One Chinese billionaire reportedly has more than 100 U.S.-born children through surrogacy. The idea, build a future family and a business succession plan. Some clients, by the way, request up to 100 babies via multiple surrogacies. It can cost as much as $200,000. And why would they do that? Because babies born here are automatically U.S. citizens. Also, surrogacy is illegal in China. Nearly 41% of international surrogate parents in the United States are Chinese. So why is this such a debate? Look around the world. Much of Europe has restricted birthright citizenship. Asia basically ended it. The United States, still one of the few countries around the world that sits as an outlier.
So
let's start.
$200,000, hold on, per child, and you got 100 kids, do the math. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry to basically be human trafficking in the United States for what? For business purposes, to compromise national security. This was not the intention of the 14th Amendment. Again, it was to make sure that I had citizenship because it was for Black Americans and their descendants. Black American descendants of slavery and their descendants, me and my parents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents, them, not Jubal, not him and his 100 purchased children. No. So we got to amend the amendment. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we got to amend the amendment because that kind of stuff can't go on. But it's a whole industry. Billions of dollars in the industry. It's too much. It's ridiculous. It's way too much. Okay, now Iran, the jet that got shot down. ABL, you're late with the news, ABL. It's happened 8 days ago. It was yesterday. And I saw this right when it broke. And as a matter of fact, I had my thumbnail ready, had everything ready right when it happened, but I wanted to wait a little bit. I'm like, okay, it's still, as I saw it, it was still breaking. I'm like, okay, I gotta wait a little bit. So I figured, okay, I wait one day to do my video because I wanted to get more information rather than just doing it right away and then something else happens. But anyway, an F-15 fighter jet got shot down in Iran. One pilot has been rescued so far, and the other one is still missing, as far as I know. So let's watch this.
Colonel Gainier, what does this mean for U.S. jet strikes and other aerial missions moving forward?
That the skies are not as safe as they perhaps presumed. My guess is that this was daytime. My guess is that that the Iranians used what's called infrared. So they used detection that's passive, that used heat differences. The president did say that their radars roll down, and so he probably can claim that legitimately. But the fact that there are still anti-aircraft kinds of capabilities that are based on heat temperature differences that can identify aircraft and still target aircraft is probably what got this F-15 down.
Colonel.
All right, there we go. So they can have some new technology that they didn't have before, supplied to them by the Chinese or the Russians that helped them to down the plane. Now, there are rumors that they found a second pilot, and I am seeing that right now. Let me put it up on the screen for you guys as we speak. And if you like what you're hearing, of course, you know what to do. Get a video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helped me out tremendously. Okay, so this is people are in the city center after the USAF conducted multiple airstrikes to block roads on convoys of the IRGC Basij headed toward location of the second crew member of the F-15. So they're out in the streets. And there are also people in cars trying to get to the destination. They're trying to rush to the place because there's a bounty. They said, hey, if you can find this F-15 pilot, we'll give you $60,000, US dollars, I suppose. So in a place like Iran, anywhere that's going to be a lot of money. But over there, that'd be a whole lot of money. You know, 60 grand cash, yeah, that's going to be a lot of money. Okay. So here are people driving to the place, like rushing in their cars, driving to where they think the second pilot is located. So at this point, if the civilians are trying to rush to the place, then so would the Americans. It'd be a rush to see who gets there first. It's like Black Friday. Everybody want that prize. In this case, then it's not about spending money. It's about trying to get money because, again, it's a bounty. So they all want a piece of that pie. Of course, you in this country like this where it's a lot of poverty, that's really what's going on. Okay, and some might try to hold the person hostage and all kind of extra stuff. All right, let's keep on going here. Okay, a little bit more about that particular thing and some sound.
In the dark of southern Iran.
And like I said in my video earlier, these little pieces of the Iranian flag, like that stuff right there, that means Allahu Akbar. That right here says Allahu Akbar in a little stylized script. So CBS, let's remove that. And next time, I know you want to have the Iranian theme as part of their flag, but it literally says Allahu Akbar. So let's not have Allahu Akbar on TV. And you got an explosion. That's crazy. So out of the Allahu Akbar, boom. How fitting. Anyway.
F-15E fighter jet like that one on your screen, shot down by Iranian forces. The pilot and a weapons specialist ejecting safely and then evading capture on the ground. But as U.S. rescuers closed in, another aircraft also took fire and crashed, forcing that pilot to eject as well.
So the first one was the F-15E fighter jet, and then the other one was the A-10 Warthog.
They were later lifted from the Persian Gulf, and the pilot of the earlier F-15 has been rescued too. But that third crew member is still out there tonight, and we have multiple reports on what happened and what's being done to rescue them, starting with CBS News senior national security correspondent Charles.
All right, but that's the general gist of it. So hopefully the pilot in question is found. It's been a little while now. This happened yesterday, and probably like 24 hours at this particular point in time he's been missing, or not in custody of anybody. So hopefully they find him pretty soon. Now here's some more. These are members of the Bakhtari tribe in Iran's Khuzestan province trying to find the guy. And they got their small arms. A lot of guys, they out there just in rocks, with rifles, handguns, whatever they can find.
حسین سلام علیکم خسته نباشی آشه سلام علیکم علیکم سلام انشالله پیدا میشه نترسید آقا سلام علیکم یا الله یا سلام نمیمونه پرچم همیشه بالا حاجی سلام علیکم خسته نباشی یا سلام علیکم حاجی سلام علیکم حدیث چیه پیدا کردی انشالله پیدا میشه انشالله
All right, there we go. So shout out to them. They look Indian to me. Look very Indian. I guess that's like the original Indians, the Iranians, because they went over there. Well, they were over there for a while. The whole empire stretched over to India. And then some of them mixed with the, I guess you would say, native Indians, the Dravidians, the real dark-skinned people that look like, yeah. And then they created what we have now, some of the other Indians that look like a mix between these people and the Dravidians. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing, so you know what to do. Now, Trump had issued an ultimatum. Hey, you guys got 48 hours to open this straight up, or it's going to be problems.
President Trump giving Iran an ultimatum, posting on Truth Social that the regime has only 48 hours to make a deal and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or, quote, all hell will rain down. More on that in moments. President Trump giving Iran an ultimatum, posting on Truth Social that the regime has only 48 hours to make a deal and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or, quote, all hell will rain down.
There we go. So hopefully they can open that up. I have seen more traffic in the strait. I'm seeing different little graphics where there's more traffic in the strait. So that's a good sign, because again, this right here, this is the key. The Strait of Hormuz, this is the key, because again, if you guys don't know, to the west of this strait, you have quite a few oil producing and exporting countries such as Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia. All of that is right over to the west. So all of that needs to go out in the Persian Gulf, come out through the strait, and then come out into the open water. And sometimes it'll come around the Arabian Peninsula and up through the Suez Canal, through the Mediterranean, hitting Europe, all those places, and then go out to open water, hit USA, Canada, etc., or to go out to the east through South China Sea, go to China and Korea, Japan, all of that, Australia, Philippines, all those places. And since that traffic has been disrupted, you have Qatar, or I think it's Bahrain or Qatar right there. I think that's Qatar right there, this island. Since Qatar could not get out the LNG, 80 to 90% of Japan, for example, 80 to 90% of their LNG is cut off. Looking for natural gas. So you got a problem. Philippines, they got a problem. Where's the LNG? Where's the gasoline? We're pretty much out back. We're out of luck. So that strait needs to get opened fully. And none of this, we'll pay you to escort through there. It'd be a toll. No, it needs to be open completely and fully without any kind of blocking of it. Let's keep on rocking. Now, how do you pronounce Qatar? Am I saying it wrong? Cutting there. You're not saying it right, ABL. How do I pronounce it? Qatar, Y'all let me know. Anyway, now here is the Artemis II picture of planet Earth. I'm going to ask y'all, are you buying it? Do you think this is a real picture? Is it CGI? Is it, is it AI? What is your opinion about this picture taken from the Artemis II Moon Launch? What do y'all think? I mean, I think it looks pretty authentic, but at this point, man, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm skeptical. I'm about 50-50. I'm somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not real, but at this point, who knows? Who knows? Okay, let's keep on going here. This is Artemis II pilot Victor Glover. He black, and he'll be the first black man to pass by the moon, not land, because ain't nobody gonna land on this. The first black man to pass by the moon. Now, me, I'm not really into all this, first black this, first black that, but it's a question. So here is his answer to the question.
It is a big...
Hold on. Before he answers the question, matter of fact, I'm gonna let him talk. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Again, Victor Glover, Artemis II pilot.
It is a big question, and I want to highlight, I guess maybe one facet of this is the tension, I call it. I live in this, this dichotomy between happiness that a young woman can look at Christina and just physicalize her passion or her interest, or even if it's not something she wants to do, she can just be like girl power, and that's awesome. And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that. But I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first, that one day this is just, and I listen to this, that this is the human history. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history, but that it becomes human history.
I agree. Very well said. Very well said. That was perfectly said, because you acknowledge people that look up to you because of how you look. That's totally fine. If a little kid says, you know what, I want to be like him because he looks like me, that's totally fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I totally get it. But the bigger narrative should be about making human history. Okay, that should be the bigger narrative here. If they're able to get a moon base, which is the goal, I believe, if they're able to get a moon base, that should be seen as a human accomplishment, not a matter of black or white. That seems like it's very reductive and kind of primitive. You should think way beyond just the skin color and look at us as a people advancing. It's like, okay, we invented the cell phone. Doesn't matter who the color, the person. We got the technology. That should be what we look at it like. So shout out to him. Very good answer to the question. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, this is going to be, is this Isaac Min?
We're going to turn.
I believe so. Talking about the moon base. Okay. The potential moon base. Let's watch this.
We're going to turn the moon base into the proving ground for the capabilities and the technologies needed to bring astronauts home from Mars someday.
Everyone knows about Apollo. How is Artemis different from the Apollo missions?
The Artemis program picks up where Apollo left off, not to return to the moon to plant the flag and pick up the rocks again, but to build an enduring presence, to build a moon base so we can realize the scientific and economic value of being on the lunar surface. So, putting that like practical terms, on the International Space Station, which in itself is another extraordinary engineering accomplishment. I mean, more than a quarter of a century, we have kept humans continuously alive in low Earth orbit. I mean, think about it. If you're 25 years old or younger, there hasn't been a time you've been alive that we haven't had an American in space above you, right? Pretty cool.
We don't think about that enough when we look up at the sky, I think.
Right. And that amazing point is building a base on the moon is that next step as we go and venture out farther into solar systems. So now we're getting out of a laboratory at the International Space Station. We're getting to the surface where astronauts can interact with the lunar regolith, right? They can do in situ resource manufacturing, meaning working with the water ice to make propellant. And that's going to be incredibly important because in the
to propel off the moon.
Well, I mean, to be able to just do it. I mean, it's really hard to make propellant here on Earth, let alone without an atmosphere or 1/5, 1/6 gravity. So you think about in the not too distant future when we're able to send astronauts to Mars, the hard part is going to be bringing them back to tell us about it. We're going to have to make our propellant on Mars, so we're going to turn the moon base into the proving ground for the capabilities and the technologies needed to bring astronauts home from Mars someday.
All right, there we go. So that is Jared Isaacman, like the big boss over at NASA. I'm not sure what his title is over there. I think he's somebody that is in the running to become the big boss at NASA if he's not right now. But there we go. So what do y'all think? Is it all gobbledygook? Is it not really a real thing? Is it a real thing? Some would say there's a base on the moon right now. That's a thought process that's out there. Okay, now look. There's an issue with the actual Artemis II. There's an issue with this, this mission. The toilet ain't right. Now imagine you're in outer space. You're in outer space. And the one toilet you got is not working. Okay, let's watch this.
We can practice in gravity, but this would be the door. So if you were looking at the toilet from inside the capsule, this would be the floor. You would float over to it, open up this hinging door, and float on in. So here you can see the toilet, and there's enough room for you to float in here and close the door. We can practice in. Okay,
so that's just them showing the toilet before they actually took off in the thing. But now they're saying there's like a burning smell coming from it, and there's like a frozen valve. There's all kind of problems. Now, I don't know if the toilet is actually working or not, but imagine you're in space for 10 days and you can't like go to a rest stop. Ain't no Buc-ee's to go to. You can't pull up in those space buckets and just say, yeah, let me use the bathroom. That's all you got right there. You got hit number 2 and you out of luck. Okay, if you gotta do number 1, you get a little bottle, fill that up right quick, little trucker bottle. But number 2, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out. Figure it out. So hopefully the toilet issue has been resolved or it'll be worked through. Okay, now
tonight
I have so many videos to show you guys, but I don't got enough time. Now, this is a top FEMA official, okay? A top FEMA official who said he got teleported to a Waffle House. I am not making this up. I promise I'm not. Let's get into it.
An update to an exclusive K-File report you saw first here on Outfront. New fallout over a top FEMA official's claim that he was teleported, yes, teleported, to a Waffle House. Yes, Waffle House, miles away. Democratic lawmakers have been raising concerns about those comments and about the FEMA official himself, Greg Phillips, after CNN's K-File reporting revealed, among other concerning comments, this claim Phillips made on a podcast last year.
We had a teleport incident, 2 of them, which transported me about 40 miles from where I was and near Albany, Georgia, to the ditch of a church. I end up at a.
Let's pause. This is Greg Phillips, head of FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery. Okay.
A church. I end up at a Waffle House like 50 miles away from where I was. It was an incredibly frightening moment to experience yourself in your car flying through the air. It was possible. It was real.
So, okay, the teleport, you said flying through the air. So is you warp? That's different than teleporting. Teleporting to me is like you just instantly are somewhere else. I've experienced that before, a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it was a teleport, but it was something like that. I think I was just asleep, and I thought I teleported. So what happened, I'm driving. This is a long time ago. I might have been like 17, 18. I'm driving, and I'm in Chesapeake. And if you're in the chat, Chesapeake, you know what I'm talking about. Before they built the Dominion Bridge, it was a drawbridge right there. So I'm going down Dominion towards Cedar, and it was a drawbridge. I remember approaching the bridge. Next thing I know, I'm over the bridge. Now, I don't know where. I think I might have been asleep. I just slept briefly and was still able to keep going straight. and not crash. But yeah, that happened. Now, to say that I flew through the air and all this and that, I don't know nothing about that. But it can happen, I suppose. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
K-Files Andrew Kaczynski.
Nah, that ain't astral projection. Astral projection is when you're sleeping and your body goes somewhere else and you can actually like say for example, astral projection is like I'm asleep in the bed and although my body is still unconscious, my conscious is not unconscious and I'm able to go somewhere aside from my body being there with me. That's astral projection.
Broke the story. He's with us now. Andrew, what exactly is Phillips saying now, and how is he explaining these claims?
Brianna, Phillips is doubling down on his teleportation claims in a series of new social media posts over the last week. Phillips, who oversees the government's disaster response, is defending those remarks, saying they were part of a religious experience and citing examples in the Bible, while also accusing critics of taking them out of context. Haters gonna hate. That's what Phillips wrote in one of a handful of comments over the past month on media, not away from his claims, but defending them and doubling down. All of those coming in the days following CNN's reporting. On Truth Social, Phillips defended himself by writing in one post, "I have no regrets for my words, nor my faith in my Savior Jesus Christ. The Bible has many examples of the power of God." In that same thread, he then shared a passage from the book of Acts, describing the Apostle Philip being, quote, snatched away by the Holy Spirit and appearing miles away. And when another user asked him directly if he had experienced something like that himself, Phillips responded yes, adding, quote, "The Bible calls it transported or translated." That post has been deleted since our reporting. Now, we asked FEMA and Phillips which part was taken out of context, but we have yet to hear back. But Phillips did post a lengthy response to our story on Truth Social on Wednesday, writing that the podcast occurred while undergoing cancer treatment and, quote, "The podcast at the center of this controversy was part of chronicling that journey, and during that journey, things happened that I can't explain." This all comes after Phillips failed to appear at a House Homeland Security meeting last week where he had been scheduled to testify on the impact of the partial shutdown on DHS. That is the agency that oversees FEMA. Now, neither Phillips nor FEMA responded to CNN's question about why he didn't appear, but again, it occurred several days after CNN's reporting. Multiple Democratic lawmakers at that hearing saying that Phillips' past comments made him unfit to lead the Office of Response and Recovery, which sources have told us is one of the most consequential roles at the agency.
Okay, there's a little bit more, but you can get the idea there. A top female official says that he was teleported on 2 different occasions. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys: do you believe him? Do you think that it's possible? Because it's kind of hard to believe or disbelieve without just using your opinion or what you believe to be true in general. But is there any possibility that he's telling the truth? I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'm open to stuff like that. I'm the kind of guy that's really open-minded. I believe in a lot of stuff. I've seen some stuff. I've seen ghosts. I've seen a little bit of everything. So I like the paranormal stuff. I do believe in that. I do. But the teleporting, I don't know. I guess it could happen. I suppose so. That's why they, like I said before, that's why they say, rather than saying unidentified flying object, they say unidentified aerial phenomena rather than UFO is UAP. Because if you see an object in the air, it might not be flying. It might be doing something else. It might be bending time-space to where you see it, although it does not exist in this current space, in this current reality that we're in. So is it flying or is it doing something else? UAP. That's why they say that now. It's not about trying to hide it. It's about trying to accurately identify it. My ghost story, I told a story before. I got 2 ghost stories. I'll tell one ghost story right quick. You guys may have heard it before, but I was in my apartment back in the day in Virginia. I'm on the couch laying down. I'm asleep. And I had this like single guy, little, artificial tree in the corner of my house, right by the foot of the couch. So the couch is like this and the tree is like right here. I'm asleep this way. Okay, so I'm asleep like this. My head is going here. My legs are going here. I wake up and I look toward the tree. As I look toward the tree, I see a woman standing there. like kind of translucent, but I could see a woman standing there. An older black woman that I've not seen before. It was not anybody recognized. I've not seen her on TV. It was a family member or a friend. This is a total stranger. Now, my thought was, okay, this is probably who lived here before me. This is her spirit coming to me. And it wasn't like she was intimidating me. It was like she looked like she was proud. Like, you know, how you see Marco Rubio, people just look at him like this. It was like that. I felt like she was proud of me. But I saw this. I'm sitting there like, and this goes on for like minutes. Probably about a good 5 to 10 minutes. This goes on. And then she just kind of materializes away. She kind of like fades away. But yeah, that happened. That sure did happen. It did. And I have other stories like that, but that most certainly happened. So I don't know, you know, paranormal things, it's possible. You may not necessarily believe it. You may not have seen it, but hey, we got the Bible. We believers, or many of us are believers. And in the Bible, there's a lot of stuff like that. So, hey. Now, I got one more. This is from Anna Paulina Luna. One more. And this woman right here, dead serious, a real person. I've met her before. Rock solid. I like her a lot, actually. If she could be Marco Rubio's press secretary or something like that, maybe even the vice president, I would like that, because she is really, really a good person to have in your corner. Okay.
A member of oversight, we follow up with whistleblowers, and we also can conduct our own investigations. So myself, Representative Burchett from Tennessee, and Representative Gates were on a small codel to the Panhandle because a whistleblower came forward from Eglin Air Force Base pilots to Representative Gates' office saying that the Air Force was essentially covering up UAP activity and we needed to look into it. So we coordinated the meeting. Pentagon tried to initially cancel the first one. We got it back on the books. We show up there and we get in, and the base commander tried to basically tell us that we didn't have authorized clearance to look into and speak to some of the witnesses, of which you don't tell Congress that we don't have the authorized clearance, especially members of House Armed Services, Oversight, and Judiciary. So I kind of had it out with the base commander, which is kind of funny because this guy really thought that he had it going on. And he actually, in the middle of our meeting, he took off on leave, which never happens with a delegation going to military base. But then also, too, we had pretty sure people from the agency that were there as well. And so you really don't find that. I've worked at Hurlburt Field. I worked in the military for a number of years. And so why would a intelligence agency need to be there on a meeting for whistleblowers? So that happened. I can tell you, based on my investigations, not in a classified setting, that I absolutely believe that there is things that are advanced technologies not of human origin. And then we conducted the interview with David Grush. As you saw, it was one of the most widely attended congressional hearings in U.S. history. The information that was brought forward was particularly alarming because you're hearing about people that have potentially been murdered and covering up this information, and it was very interesting. So I advise everyone to watch it.
Yeah, was it, so based off what, and have you received classified information or just what they said?
No, yeah, but I can't talk about that.
Of course you can't talk about it. So
there's more, but I got limited time. So it was her, Tim Burchett, and also Matt Gaetz, who were briefed on this stuff. And they've all said something similar. I'm going to show a little bit of what Tim Burchett said. And I got to get to some calls here because we got limited time. Y'all give me 1 second to get myself together. And, okay, let's do it this way. There we go. Tim Burchett says the country would come unglued if we heard what we heard. Tim Burchett says the country would come unglued if we heard what he heard in the meeting.
When I'm in a meeting and somebody tells me that the president is on a need-to-know basis, that tells me that there's definitely somebody behind the scenes pulling some strings.
Well, but the president's issued a direct order for the Pentagon at least to comply. Hesketh says he's gonna comply. Who's pulling the strings beyond that?
Well, Headset's only been in power for a little bit, and so has President Trump. This stuff's been going on since the 40s that we have documentation of, and of course it's been going on a lot longer than that. I feel like again, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's little green men or flying saucers. I just want to know what we're spending billions of dollars on, and I want to know why every department that they come out and say we don't have files on this, why they've had secret briefings with me and other members of Congress. And why is it so siloed, the information? You can have two guys standing there side by side, one saying they exist and one says they don't. They're from the same department. And they think they're both telling the truth. If they took a lie detector test or put their hand on the Bible and swore to God that they were telling the truth, in their mind, they were. But again, it's so compartmentalized, and I think this stuff's been buried for so long. And back to your question of the cell phones, I just don't think the viewings and the things that people see we're seeing them quite that often. I believe right now you're seeing a lot of AI, and so I don't fully trust that.
All right, there we go. So that's Tim Burchett. So what do y'all think? The government just recently purchased aliens.gov, that domain. So maybe they're going to try to do some kind of disclosure. If they do disclosure, I'm not quite sure it's going to be everything, because we're not ready for everything. We're ready for some things, but not everything. We're not ready for interdimensional. And not just saying interdimensional beings, but we're not ready for like the real angels and demons talk, because that's really where it's going to go. Okay, that's where it's going to go. Then it's going to get really weird. All right, so there's a lot more to that, but I got like no more time, so let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. And let's get to some super chats. Then we're going to get to the calls. Alrighty. I think I'm going to do a video maybe tomorrow on the whole UAP thing, because there's a few more things I'm going to get to. But the main thing was that teleporting, which was crazy. I'm going to try to find that podcast if I can find it, where he said he got teleported to the Waffle House. I believe him. Now, I don't know how he got teleported. I don't know if it was some extraterrestrial, some alien, little green man or nothing like that. It could be something else. The technology we have nowadays is crazy. So, hey, there's a lot of things that are possible that you may not know about being possible. Technology that the government has that you have no idea. Trump said it. They got a discombobulator. What's that? Sound waves? Like, what is that? And does nobody else have that? Okay. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Thank you to Benjamin, who says, if the Supreme Court allows for birthright citizenship, then everyone on the planet becomes citizen of the U.S. Exactly. Thank you to Taylor Langley Fitness, who says, shout out to the USAF PJs. They are the ones going behind enemy lines to get our pilots out. Absolute studs with their motto, so others may live. Right on. Absolutely 100% correct. All right. Let's go to some calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287 is the number to call. And the phone lines are open. So do you guys believe in extraterrestrials, UFOs, UAPs? And if you guys don't know, UAP is unidentified aerial phenomena rather than unidentified flying object. 501, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, it's Robert.
All righty, what's happening?
Not too much. Didn't get the chance to really listen in tonight. So the last 30 minutes I'm working on a case study. So I talked to you about a month ago about Pam Bondi, and I said that me personally, I didn't think that she was doing a good job, and she's probably not going to be there too long. And I still kind of stand by what I said, because, and I think I also said that even if you disagree with whatever Mayor Garland was doing at that time, he did a lot of stuff that that was seen by the public. I don't know of anything that Pam Bondi done. Like, she had cases on certain people, and all those cases ended up getting dropped, or they had some kind of issue where they did the paper wrong, or had some person that wasn't vetted right through Congress or whatnot. So, I mean, there's just so many issues with her that I'm kind of glad she's gone.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And, you know, she definitely is gone. So hopefully we get somebody else in there that can do better.
Yeah. What role do you think they're going to put her in? Because, again, I did not dislike her. I just don't think that she was very effective at what she was doing.
There was a push from some people to put her into the DNI role that Tulsi Gabbard has, but Trump says, nah, Tulsi Gabbard's good right there in the DNI role. So I'm not really sure what she's going to do. I think Trump says it's going to be a private sector position. So it could be some kind of fundraiser. I don't know what's going to happen with Pam Bondi, but I think she'll still be around some kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, that's just like with, what's her name? Who's, dang it, I'm having a brain fart. The other female that people were saying, oh, well, she got promoted.
Kristi Noem.
Yeah, Kristi Noem. She didn't get promoted. She got demoted. Like, the role that she ended up taking was not, I mean, she went from being a secretary, which is, secretaries in administration are basically the next thing to the president. And I mean, I would even say that they're really in a role that's higher than the vice president. So for her to go from being a secretary to some czar of whatever it is that she's doing, that's definitely a demotion.
Oh, for sure. I only know where that whole narrative came from that she got promoted. It's like, come on. If you know where her role is now and you don't know the new role, that means it was a demotion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So have you heard anything about you possibly getting into that briefing room?
No, I've not heard anything. So hopefully that can happen one day, but I've not heard anything as of right now.
All right. Well, no, that's all I wanted to really talk about was Pam Bondi getting fired. I hope they hurry up and get done with this conflict, because I just don't want this to be an issue for the midterms where Democrats have something to try to run on.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, get it wrapped up right now. Like sooner the better.
Yeah, I think they just maybe gonna take out the sun and whoever else and say, hey, we're gonna keep taking out people until y'all submit.
That's right.
Well, all right, man. You have a good night.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 909. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 909, hello. Going once, going twice. Okay, whenever you call into the show, have your ear to the phone. You cannot talk to the screen. It will be a delay. And the number to call again, 706-406-3287 is the number to call. Y'all go ahead and dial on in, and I'm here for a little while longer taking your calls. And if you've been watching the whole time, thank you for watching. You know, I couldn't do any of this without you. 248, you're on the line. How am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good. Yeah, so my comment tonight was, Wednesday you made a comment against Candace Owens. So my thing is, I remember during the election when she was talking about Kamala, you was literally showing her posts, egging her on. So what's the difference now? It's like you kind of dissing her or something. Telling her she needs to shut up. Women need to shut up. It seemed like she didn't need to shut up when she was doing it about Kamala going for Trump.
But see, you got to say all of what I said, though. I said that I like Candace. I think that she's super hot in person. She's beautiful. And she has a lot of good ideas. She's a smart person. I like Candace. I said I liked her. But I also said at a certain point, when women talk, it begins to not make sense. That does not mean it always doesn't make sense. That doesn't mean I hate her. I'm just saying at a certain point, you can't just follow women all the time, listen to everything they say. Sometimes they're going to say things that make perfect sense, like Candace does, because she's a smart person. But sometimes she'll say things that won't make sense, and it's okay. I'm not trying to attack her. It's just the reality of women at a certain point.
Okay, but guys say stupid stuff too. Guys sit up. Guys don't say everything right all the time. And with all due respect, you don't always say things that people agree with. So just because she says things that you don't agree with, and we all kind of know the latest story of what you're referring to, her Candace series. So I just think it's kind of it's not right for you to just say that. So that was my only comment. I'm not really going to go back and forth because that's all I wanted you to know. You have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But the caller, I was going to ask her before she left. Did I tell her a lie? Am I telling the truth, though? Am I telling the truth? And the guy like Candace. Again, Candace, super hot in person. Shout out to your husband. Shout out to George. Really smart. And always had my back. Whenever I met Candace, she always had positive words for me. She always looked out for me. But I have noticed something. If you are going to follow a woman as an influencer and listen to her every day, at a certain point, she's not going to make sense. And it's okay. I accept that. Now, of course, some men say some things that you don't agree with, but I'm not going to be illogical. My opinion may be different than yours, but it's not going to be illogical, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's go to 248. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hell yeah, you told a lie.
Is that you again? See, look, see? But you know what? Caller, it's okay. It is totally fine. It's no problem. Oh my God. All right. 205, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Anthony Brian Logan. Can you hear me?
I heard you well, boss. What's going on?
Hi, yes. So basically, I saw your short that you made on Who Should I See Robbing Gucci Mane earlier.
Yes, sir.
And the crazy part about it is, what gets to me is like people try to say, "Oh, did Gucci Mane snitch? Or Gucci Mane snitch?" I'm like, I don't think that should be the point of the conversation. It should be like, why did Who Should I See think that was a good idea to do that on an ankle monitor using rental cars? And on top of that, his dad not talking him out of wasting millions of dollars, wasting $1 million opportunities when he just got out of federal prison. Why are we not talking about that?
Exactly. That should be the conversation, but people are stuck in this whole street mentality. Like snitching is a real thing. And it's not though, because I come from the street. I know what guys do. Nobody in the streets follows the whole no snitching rule. It'd be the biggest, toughest guys. They wear a wire on you. They set you up. They call the police on you. They'll do something to you, make you react, and then when you react, they're gonna call the police on you. I've seen that happen with my own two eyes. I witnessed it. So it's like that whole narrative is stupid and it makes no sense. And people need to just live in reality.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
People got to live in reality and just understand that, you know. And then to your point about Pusheisty and what he did is like, how dumb are you? You were on the ankle monitor doing all that. It's like, come on, they got you on camera, and on top of that, they posted pictures of the robbery on Instagram. I'm like, y'all just retarded overall.
Oh no! It gets even better. So guess what? Also, it gets even better than that. Guess what? So I come to find out that one of the dudes, when Pusheisty's one of his goons, when they had robbed one of the people, so they robbed him of his like those Bluetooth AirPods, and come to find out, some of the electronics they robbed off of the people, one of them had an Apple AirTag inside the electronics, so they were able to track the location of where the electronic was.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I got all these electronics, all expensive stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to track it. Like, okay, you took my phone. Well, meanwhile, I got to find my phone, and it went straight to his dad's house. It's like, how dumb are you? But again, you're dealing with criminals. You're not dealing with guys that got a lot of sense. You're not dealing with really intelligent people, especially like street criminals. Like, stick-up kids. They're stupid. That's why he was a jailbird, and he's going back to jail, and this time for a long time.
Yeah, and the part that gets me is just like, I was like, most people don't get a once in a lifetime opportunity. You just got done doing 5 years in the feds for doing something else stupid, and then you get out, you drop a first song. It's a pretty good hit. You about to come home to hundreds of thousands, including millions of dollars. Most people in this country, in this world, don't have opportunities like that, and you waste it all just to try to be a street dude. I can't feel sorry for him. Like, I just can't. Like, we need to, like one guy I saw, one YouTuber said, he said, we need to make fun of this behavior. We need to clown this behavior. We need to shame this behavior.
Oh, for sure. And it needs to be clowned. It needs to be made fun of because it's ridiculous, and people should not do stuff like this. And it should be a warning to everybody else. Hey, you know what? If you have in your mind to go out and try to rob somebody of gunpoint, ankle monitor, all of that, just don't.
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to say, ABL, is I was listening. I don't want to take up most of your time, but one thing I wanted to say, ABL, is I was listening to some reports, and they said Pooh Shiesty's dad. They said it was a rumor that I was going to look into it. They said it's a rumor that he's been working with the feds, like he's a federal informant or something like that.
I have heard that, and he probably is, because they all snitch. They all tell. Like, that's why he was able to get out initially on bond, even though that was a crazy federal case. You from Memphis. You had a plan. You staged it. You lured them to it. You got kidnapping, robbery, gun charges.
Cross state lines, too.
Cross state lines, and his dad had already been to the penitentiary before, so you are a repeat offender. A felon doing something like this, you shouldn't be able to get out. But he did get out because he's already telling. That's what I'm saying. A guy like Pooh Shiesty, people trying to defend Pooh Shiesty, saying that Gucci Mane was wrong for telling. But I'm gonna tell you this: if Gucci Mane just took the robbery, let him do it, and then came back at him in the street, he would tell. Pooh Shiesty would tell on Gucci. You see, that's how they do in the street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it's in their benefit and it's in their advantage.
That's right.
Yeah, they're gonna tell.
That's right.
Especially when they feel like nobody's gonna find out about it.
Exactly.
And on top of that, one thing I also found out is, well, I don't know how true this is. I was gonna look into this. They said Pooh Shiesty's dad tried to make a statement to the feds that saying his son peer pressured him. That made we bust out laughing.
Wait.
Peer pressure.
So the dad was trying to say that his son peer pressured him into doing some robbery?
That's the exact word they're saying that he used.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's laughable, isn't it?
Hilarious.
I was like, I was glad we laughing about that for a whole hour straight. It's like you literally used the word your son peer pressured you. You're like 50-something years old. How are you? What? I said, oh hell no.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's one of the things you got to go around and tell everybody about something like that, because it just gets crazier and crazier. But now hearing the fact that they out and they got a bond after a case like that, like you said, most likely they probably done told on somebody.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you have a good night, sir.
Same to you, man. Yeah, that story is totally. I might do a full video on that. I don't know. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson for no reason at all. I'm watching a little bit of your channel. You got some really good thumbnails. I'm gonna do some random content too. Long live long form content. Shout out to the long form videos. Shout out to everybody that watches the long form content. I appreciate y'all. Let's go. 803. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Rob from South Carolina. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Doing good. I just want to wish everybody happy Easter before I forget. And you were talking about UFOs and whatnot. Admiral Byrd, after World War II, ran into some stuff up there in Alaska, and was on a TV show talking about UFOs and whatnot. And then you also had the Philadelphia experiment, Manhattan Project, and Albert Einstein supposedly they had 2 Navy ships go out there and they put some animals on one and turned up the radio frequency or voltage, and they half disappeared or something, and then some of the Navy sailors disappeared and end up in a bar in Philadelphia and then disappeared. So I'll just hang up and let you expand on all that. And my feelings is I believe that that Satan brought a third of the angels, fell out of heaven down to earth, and he's just causing confusion. So maybe he's got little green guys running around or seeing ghosts or whatever. But I'll hang up. Y'all have a happy Easter.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, I have heard some things like that. I have heard some strange things that were going on. I don't know about that case in particular, but I have heard some things. One thing I could say, hold on, I gotta sneeze. It's like right there, and we'll come out. Okay, I defeated the sneeze. The sneeze went away. But anyway, how about the flight that was over the Indian Ocean? I forget, was it MH70? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Hold on. What flight was that? Malaysia Airlines, Flight 370? Yeah, 370. So remember the whole flight vanished? Or how about a better example, Bermuda Triangle? What's under the actual... They say that we know less about the ocean floor than we know about the moon. We know more about the moon and that surface than our own ocean floor. The majority of the ocean floor is unmapped. 70% of the Earth's surface is water. We have no idea what's underneath there. So when you see stuff go missing, Bermuda Triangle, I'm talking about vanishing completely. And there's stories of pilots going into kind of a wormhole and coming out on the other end and kind of like teleporting. The same thing that they said happened with the Waffle House. So there's one story I saw where the pilot went into kind of a wormhole and came out on the other end much further than he should have been. He was in the air for a certain amount of time, and for that travel time, he shouldn't have been as far as what he was. So things like that happen. You have a whole plane, a whole ship vanish without a sight. No wreckage, no nothing. Just completely just poof, gone. How does that happen? I don't know, but there's something going on. I can't explain it. There are some things happen that you can't explain. So I think that ultimately, as time progresses, we'll be able to figure some of these things out. As human beings, we've always had to progress. There was a certain point in time where we said that the sun revolved around the earth, but now we know it's not the case. It's not, and we thought that it was like, okay, the earth is right here and the sun was doing this. That's what we thought. But now we know that it's all moving. We're all moving through space and everything is rotating. You got the center of gravity in our solar system, the sun, and the planets revolve around it. But as that's happening, it's also going like this and moving through space. So when we move through space, what are we going to encounter? Debris from old civilizations, old planets, old stars, asteroids. Who knows? Now we're seeing more asteroids coming through because they're saying we're going through an asteroid area because we're going through space. We're not just staying stationary. We're not just like, we're not just in space going like this. We're not doing that. We're actually moving very fast through space. But many years ago, we wouldn't have known that. So what are we going to discover next? Now we got AI coming. That's going to give us more information, more knowledge, and we're going to learn more and more and more. Okay, let's keep on going here. Let's go to 323. You don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. This is Joanne from Los Angeles. And I was wondering, I've been around for a while, and some of your callers or your supporters, I haven't heard from them in a minute. And I was wondering about Les. You remember Les and her Patriots?
Yes.
So this is Easter time. I'm like, oh, the little kids, they were so cute. I'm wondering if she's still around, but I haven't heard from her in a minute. So I was just, if she is around, happy Easter to you and your Patriots. So that's what I wanted to say to her. But, okay, another story is I don't know if you or any of your audience have seen since you guys like Los Angeles drama so much, not you per se, but I'm just being general, but there was some homeless people living in the gutter, or homeless woman, should I say. And it's been news about a week here, and I think it's national because it gets a lot of hits. But anyway, they found a lady living in the gutter, literally in the sewer, and they got her out, and she was a drug addict, blah, blah, blah. But, that's real because just like 3 days ago, I live by the ravine, the LA Aqueduct, and they had to pull another woman from the aqueduct via the paramedics and the fire department because she was stuck down there. So I'm like, Los Angeles, we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of drama, but you're dealing with, 4 million people? And the times are hard and people are strung out, blah, blah, blah. So it happens in big cities. I don't know why New York is not, getting a lot of, bad press about the situation with their homeless people and financial situation. But, LA is not a bad place. I just want to say that. Yes, we do have things happening. Yes, you're going to see it. But this is years. I mean, I've been here for decades, so I've seen it a lot. So it's not anything new. I just wanted to say that. It's just nothing new. It's just how we live here. I mean, some people do what they need to do, and other people just, look at it. So, unfortunately, like you say, there's tourists that come here and they want to, see everything, and they, but they don't ever put the, I went to the beach today and I saw this, I saw that. It was wonderful. I just want to let people know LA is not a bad place. Yes, California overall is a bad state, but the city of Los Angeles is not a bad city. And if you want to visit us, you're more than welcome to. I'm sure you'll find some good times, and you'll see some stuff too. So I think you said that too with your experiences here, that, you had good and bad times, but, you're going to see stuff like that in a big city. That's all I kind of wanted to say about that, because I hear it a lot, not especially, but you talk about it sometime on your podcast. I can't say the word. I'm like, okay, I need to maybe say something, because people might not want to come to LA anymore because all we see is horrible stuff. But anyway, it's a good place to come. Visit us, and you will probably see some of that stuff, but you will also remember the good times over the bad times. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to add one last piece here. And shout out to the call. Great call. I'm going to add one last piece. And by the way, LA, the beaches, beautiful. Manhattan Beach, beautiful. They were racist on the beach and ignored me in the Fiore store. And I ain't never going to forget that, because I've never had that experience in Atlanta or nowhere else. But anyway, beautiful on the beach. The problem with LA that's unique is that they incentivize the homelessness through the government programs and the NGOs and everything else. It's a homeless industrial complex. There's money to be made out there. That's the problem. If you guys reduced the incentives, if you criminalize a lot of the stuff that goes on, then it'd be better. But there's so much money to be made, they let that kind of stuff go on. That's the problem. And I did see that story of the lady in the gutter. I didn't want to put that story out there. I didn't want to beat up on y'all too much, but I did see that story of lady in the gutter, and they wanted to give her services. She was like, "No, I'm good. Don't worry about it. Let me stay in the gutter." Now, in my neck of the woods, you would not be allowed to do that. Okay, they're going to clean that up, and it wouldn't be any services either. It might be some services, but nothing to where it's like you could just be outside and live. That's not really a thing that happens in most places, in my humble opinion. But yeah, shout out to everybody out there in California. I know it's a lot of good people out there, a lot of great American patriots out there, but some of your compatriots, some of your neighbors got some problems, meaning Gavin Newsom, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Scott Wiener, and the list goes on. All right, and shout out to you guys again. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to NorCal, Northern California. Shout out to them redwood forests out there. Yeah, I love a good forest, a good, like mature growth trees, hardwood, all of that. The smell of it, just being out in the environment. amazing. And then like fresh cut hardwood, ain't nothing like it. Nothing like it. I want to get some hardwood to work with. Like that's what I want to do. I want to build something using some California hardwood. Yeah, I don't know what kind of saw I need. I think I gotta go to a sawmill, but I need to work with that because that's going to be really, really fun. Okay, and I'm not against big cities. I like mid-sized big cities. Atlanta, Georgia, I love it. Dallas, Texas, I love it. Miami, Florida, I love it. Tampa, I love it. New York, And I'm definitely not a big New York guy. Zoran Mamdani been the center of my focus for a minute. Chicago, Brandon Johnson. And Chicago is beautiful, by the way. Shout out to Chicago. Chicago is beautiful, but they got really bad class stratification in their exterior portions and also some of the neighborhoods in the city. And that class stratification, it's like you got two different worlds. You got Chirac and Chicago. Whole different planet. But Chicago, matter of fact, I'm going to go to Chicago sometime soon. Like in the summertime, I saw like when it's warm, give me a good 75-degree day in Chicago in the downtown area. Yeah, let's do it. LA, down by the beach for a little while. Okay. New York, I don't know. I'll go to Manhattan. You know what I mean? But listen, the moment I see one of them big cat, dog, possum size rats scurry across my Timberland boot, I'm leaving. On the first thing smoking, I'm going to fly back to Atlanta. I'm going to get in the UAP and go right back to ATL, Hartsfield Jackson. It'd be like the clicking the heel 3 times. Send me back to Atlanta, please. I got to get up out of here. But all cities have their good and bad parts, their pros and cons. But LA, man, it's just the people that run it is the problem, period. Without the bad governance, it'd be really good. Really, really good. At one point, California was a red state. There are places in this country that at one point were much more beautiful than they are today, although the natural beauty has not changed. You see, the natural beauty has always been there, but the people changed, the governance changed, the priorities change, and that makes the place change, unfortunately, for the worse. Oh, Oakland. Oh, my God. Oakland. Good grief. Hey, I've never seen such a thing like Oakland. Oakland, if you're living in Oakland, shout out to you. If you're from there, shout out to you. But my goodness. Matter of fact, if you're from Oakland, I'm going to send a prayer out to you. I'm going to send some light and love your way because you need it. Because you need it. Goodness gracious. You are not supposed to live like that in the US of A, especially. Not even in the world. You shouldn't be living like that, man. Oakland, oh my God, man. It's bad. It's all the way bad out there. LA, it makes LA look like Shangri-La. Oakland makes Los Angeles look like heaven in comparison. Colorado, same thing. That's right, Snow Demi. Colorado, a beautiful place. Naturally beautiful. Untouched by human beings, naturally beautiful. When human beings are there, they got a brain in their head, it's beautiful. But when you bring in the bad governance and the bad policy, the thing that kind of tore up Colorado, Denver especially, was the weed. And I called it right when it happened. I'm like, look, when they make weed legalized, you're going to attract a lot of the wrong kind of people. I'm not saying it's bad to smoke weed. People get kind of caught up in the really one, they get really narrow-minded, short-sighted. They don't understand. When I say weed is going to make a bad influence, it's going to bring a negative crowd to Denver and to Colorado as a whole, they think I mean that weed is bad and you shouldn't smoke weed and it's the devil and all this and that. Nah, it's not even about that. What it's about is the weed being legalized is going to attract the wrong kind of crowd. And that crowd will bring your city and eventually your state down, which is exactly what happened. Look at Denver, Colorado now. You know, people might have been out there smoking weed before, privately, not outdoors, not outside. They might not have been dope fiends. They might have just been regular weed smokers. But now You got straight on dope fiends just actively out acting the fool because they were attracted by that policy that said basically drugs are welcome. Okay, I can smoke weed. Well, can I smoke crack too? How about a little bit of meth? And now you got Denver, Portland, all of that, same thing. Yeah, the weed does stink though. I hate it. I hate the smell of weed. If your car smells like weed, I'm not getting in. I am not getting in your car. I'll tell you straight up, your car stinks. I will say to you, your car stinks. I don't want to stink like you stink. I don't want to smell like you. So I'm going to be out of your car. I'm not a weed smoker. I'm not one of these guys. Nah, I'm a L7. I'm a square. I call the police on people when they do the wrong thing. Okay, I'm in court saying that it was you. Yes, it was Walmart Tavius. He was smoking weed behind a Quickie Mart. It was Walmart Tavius. He had 1,000 pounds of weed in his Ford F-150 in the truck, in the bed truck, covered up with bales of hay. I'm that guy. Yes, I am. All right. Now, Virginia, the problem with Virginia is Northern Virginia. And the issue with Northern Virginia is Washington, D.C., the federal government. The bigger the government gets, the worse Virginia and Maryland get as a result. Because you get all that government money in that one area for nothing. The contractor this and the, all these stupid titles. Okay, the deputy vice president of grounds maintenance and computer research. What that mean? A janitor? What that mean? You mop floors with an electric mop for a living? That's what that mean. And they pay $200,000. Does that job call for that much? No, but it's a government contract. Get money. That's a problem. And if somebody mops the floor for $250,000 a year, what kind of person is that? They're going to vote blue. They're going to vote liberal. They're going to think they know everything and that they stuff don't stink. And that kind of person will spread like a virus and infect wherever they are. When I was a kid, Virginia was a red state. As the years progressed, the government got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the virus that is Washington, D.C. became cancer. And now here we are with Abigail Spanberger. And Wes Moore. Barack and his white girlfriend from college. But anyway, I'm playing. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That much. And you know what? Northern Virginia wasn't that bad back in the day. I got family from D.C. I got family in Southeast. I got family in Cap Heights. I got family in Annandale. I got family in Waldorf. I got family in Bowie and all of that. Bethesda, Maryland. It was not that bad back in the day. But again, when the government got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, it made those places bad, and it made Maryland bad. It made Virginia bad as a result. I saw the writing on the wall back in 2017. I'm like, you know what? I got to get up out of here. I can't be in Virginia my whole life because I already know where we're going to go. I don't like the blue state politics. I don't want to have an Abigail Spanberger. Okay, I don't want her in governance, but here we are. Shout out to my governor, Bill Lee. Although Bill Lee, you might want to kind of, I like Bill Lee. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I think Bill Lee, some may not like what he's doing with the whole CBD thing because of his connection to the alcohol industry, allegedly. But beyond that, I like Bill Lee. A flawed person, yes, but I like Bill Lee. I also like Brian Kemp. Some of y'all might not like Brian Kemp because of what Trump said, but living down here, I say I'm a Georgia and Tennessee resident. I spend a lot of time in Georgia and Tennessee because I live on the border. Brian Kemp is very well respected down here. We like what he does down here. And we want guys like that to be in office. Stacey M1 Abrams Tank had no chance against him because her campaign was anti-gun. And she's not seen as a good leader. She is not respected the same way that a Brian Kemp is. Brian Kemp very well respected. Bill Lee respected. DeSantis respected. Gavin Newsom with his pink tan, his pink spray tan. Kathy Hochul, New York. J.B. Pritzker, Epstein Island, J.B. Pritzker. Mayor Mohawk, Chicago, Brandon Johnson. No way. And also, as I wrap it up, put the bow on top, I'm going to do a video tomorrow about LeBron talking about Memphis, because LeBron said Memphis is not a good place to go and the team should go to Nashville, meaning the Memphis Grizzlies basketball team, the Grizzlies, should go to Nashville. People got mad. Oh, why would you say that? Hold on. I got my eyes real dry right now. I got to get up out of here. Give me 1 second. LeBron said he hates going to Memphis. They should go to Nashville. He didn't lie. Memphis has a good culture, but it's kind of like podunk town still. It's like small town still. It's not a place where you want to go. If you are from there, it's cool. But if you're not from there, you don't want to go there. You don't know where to go. You don't want to get robbed by young Dolph and them and RIP Dolph. You don't want to get robbed by the guys who killed young Dolph. You don't want to get caught up in no mix, and you want to go to some amenities and some nice stuff. Nashville has that. Nashville did not have it about 10, 15 years ago, but Memphis is behind where Nashville was 15 years ago. So they got to step it up. But overall, Tennessee is a great place to be. We're getting a lot of growth out here in Tennessee. Georgia as well. If you know about Georgia, if you know about Tennessee, you know about East Tennessee, I-75, that whole corridor growing from Atlanta up to Knoxville, all growing. Dalton, Georgia, Chattanooga, Cleveland, Tennessee, Athens, Tennessee, everything around Knoxville, Smoky Mountains, all of that is growing because people want to be here. We got better weather. We got seasons. We got trees. We got grass. We got beauty. We got low cost of living. It's a good place to be. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. That'll be a wrap for me. I will see you guys next time live on Tuesday on the Instagrams. Shout out to you guys who are live on the Instagram live each and every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here live on the YouTubes every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Alrighty. Oh, and that's something else, Robert Bray. South Carolina, full, packed to the top. And you know what? Atlanta traffic is bad, but it's not that bad. Try going to LA or New York. Matter of fact, how about that DC Beltway? Oh my God. The DC Beltway, forget about it. Yo. Or how about that Hampton Roads traffic? HRBT 2 o'clock in the morning. You got to go in the underwater tunnel and it's an accident. It's on fire in there. What you going to do? You out back. You out of luck. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Did I get everybody? I believe that I did. Hold on. Let me just double check here. I think I got everybody. Now I got one more missing. Give me one moment to go ahead and find that, and then I'll shout you out. And again, thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Thank you to Sapphire P for your donation. Thank you to Taylor Langley, who says Pooh Shiesty is dumb, worth millions, and going out thugging. Like, bro, you made it. Why do all that? Just chill and enjoy being rich. Exactly. Like, you're trying to rob to get money, but you're already a celebrity. You've already made it. You're a popular rapper. Just go out there and rap. Rather than robbing, go out there and rap. You could rap about robbing, but don't actually do the robbery. You want to be a big tough guy. You want to be a big street guy. You want to really live your raps, but why? If you do that, you're going to go to jail, and that's it. Your life is over with. You were on an ankle monitor, bro. An ankle monitor committing a robbery, gunpoint with conspirators involved. Your play cousin, your dad, all of them are in on it. Stupid. But you know what? That's why they say at a certain point, if you took all the money in the world and put it into one pot and distributed it equally to every soul on planet Earth, most of that money would go right back in the same hands in which it was, meaning the wealthy, within a very short period of time. 5 years, 10 years, it'll all go right back to their hands. Those who want to be in jail, those who want to be a tough guy, will go right back to the penitentiary. They'll go right back to jail. That's how that's going to be. Okay, that's just it. No money or no money. Because he got millions of dollars, or he had millions of dollars. You're trying to feed these poor goons in Memphis. Hey, check it out. I don't care if you my daddy. I don't care if you my brother, my sister. If you can't get right, if you can't get a job, you can't stop being poor after I give you the game and some money to get started, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to go ahead and just leave you behind as I continue going forward. Very simple. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. I'll be back live on a Tuesday on Instagram, Wednesday, YouTube, and I'm here every single day putting up pre-recorded content. But that'll be right for me. So shout out to you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.